computer.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go. I had to reboot the computer to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Adelaide, if you're going to sit there, you got to be quiet.
Yeah.
Okay? Otherwise, go somewhere else.
All right, so move logos around like a friendly giant again. Hi, Pixel.
Hey, guys. For anybody who wanted to see a different room in our house, ta-da!
And no
For
hockey.
those of you that didn't, too bad.
And like we said, there's no hockey in the rest of the house. So if you're in the rest of the house, there's no hockey. Blank walls, somebody's kids. I don't know who they are. I assume they came with the frames, those pictures. Oh, yeah.
Dork. Hey, now. Dork.
Yeah. All right, so we're all set. I'm only going to put the logo for Buffalo on there as number one because we assume they're drafting first.
Where are the cats? Well, Pixel just hopped down. Shadow's on the floor right there. Lilybell's right there on the back of the chair that Adelaide's sitting on. And, oh, there's a bunny right there.
Hey, big cat. Nice,
There you go. We have the only one missing is Bear. Everybody else is in the living room. Everybody. Okay. Arizona picking ninth is Coyotes giving a middle finger to the NHL.
Yep. They traded back into the top 10. Excellent job. They want Kent Johnson as the rumor. She let me pick her up.
Of course she is, because she's
She
a
doesn't
sweet
normally.
bunny. She's so sweet. Isn't she sweet?
Oh, somebody likes my jersey. I know, isn't it so fun?
Yeah, I'm not even
I really like this one.
I knew it was going to be hot up there.
It is pretty hot up here. I'm always cold though, so. Could you see a Wallstead to Buffalo at 13, or do you think that Allmark signs UPL is enough? Love the content. Cheers.
Wallstead's probably gone at 13. I don't know that he gets past 6. I know that there was talk about maybe with Nedeljkovic, maybe Detroit doesn't draft a goalie, but we'll see.
No, the kitties don't care about the rabbits at all.
And the rabbits don't care about the cats.
Sometimes they'll go over and sniff them. The bunnies like the cats, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rabbits like the cats more than the cats like the rabbits. The cats are kind of, all right. When do you think Rich Evans of Milwaukee, Wisconsin will be selected?
That's from Red Letter Media. Rich?
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Like.
I see, but no. His laugh is annoying.
His laugh is fantastic.
See, I read them, but I don't actually read them. I just
could watch movies with Rich Evans.
We have a Pixel at my feet. The cats are really thrown off by this. And
absolutely.
So
Shadow doesn't care. He's just on the floor.
I'm going to be right here blocking the walkway, so the girls can't go around me. Who do you think Boston should draft?
I hope Coronado's still there when Boston drafts. I'm not betting on it, though. He's probably going to be gone before that, but I've got my fingers crossed. Boston will probably trade that draft pick to Arizona, because why not?
Got a pair rolling laughing. I hate Benning.
Here, no. It's okay. It's okay. I got you.
The hockey living room.
I got you.
Yeah, see, this is when people ask about the rest of the house. It's not hockey. It really is the one room in our house.
Yeah.
The rest of our house looks like a normal house. A normal house with 3 children, 2 of which are teenagers. So sometimes it's obnoxious. When will the Coquitlam meetups be? And thoughts on Jones trade? We always put the meetups on Facebook, the Hockey Guy Facebook. We make events for them. So we only have the one scheduled for tomorrow right now. After that, we'll see.
Yeah.
But we always post them on Facebook.
The Jones trade, not all the specifics were there when I made the video, but there's enough for me to say I think Columbus did great. $9.5 million a year for him is it's high. That's a lot of money for Seth Jones. Columbus is better off to pick up some assets and spend that money elsewhere.
With Kings being confirmed to have a lot of interest in Wallstead, and he is there when they draft.
Oh, D-man.
But there.
Is there a D-man there?
Okay.
I was trying to ask. I don't think Edvinsson gets past LA. So if Edvinsson's still there, And there's a lot of divergent opinions on where Edvinsson goes. Could be anywhere from 2nd through 6th or 7th. I can't see him getting past LA. We'll see. Wallstead will be a solid pickup for whoever gets him. I don't think he falls out of the top 10.
Do you think the Isles will land a big fish? If so, who?
Well, losing Everly means they've got some money saved up, so it's possible. They're reported to be in on Parisi and Suter.
Shadow says this room scares him.
Well, it's a big room.
No, you're only supposed to live in the other room. That's where you live. You've left that room, and you're not wearing a jersey. This throws people off.
Say hi to Mom.
So
say hi. She loves being carried.
No, she
see
does
how
not. That her was Mom. Mom, do you see what he's doing to me? Mom. Come
on, Pixel.
Huh? So I don't do that to you, do I? No.
Should I pick up Lilybell? Bring her over?
Oh, people don't get to see her very often.
No.
Tell me about the new Blue Jackets players, please.
The only one that was on the list that I saw was Boquist. I've heard of rumors about Mitchell, Kurashev, basically good young players out of Chicago. Any of them are good pickups. I'll be doing a video on the full trade after this live stream. I think if Chicago's willing to give up that much in the way of future assets, I think they're insane. I think that's insane because much like Vancouver earlier, I don't know that they're in a position to just add 1 or 2 assets and make it into the playoffs. And sacrificing your future is risky.
What are your thoughts on the Buchnevich trade? What do you think the Rangers should go for? Maybe Alturati?
Ratu would probably still be there at 15. I like the Buchnevich deal for St. Louis. I know what the Rangers are doing too, though. Sammy Blais does give them something in their top 9 that they don't have. It gives them some of that sandpaper, but we'll see what they do with it.
Who do the Coyotes likely go after with the 9th overall pick?
Rumor has it they're after Kent Johnson. Where
are you going? Oh, he's getting Lilybell. She also loves to be picked up. Stop it, put me down. As an Oilers fan, can I be disappointed yet in Ken Holland? Or does he have something in mind that we don't know about? Shadow is right here on the cat tree.
So she comes over, she
has to let him know how much she hates him.
And how much she hates being picked up.
Yeah.
Ken Holland, he's obviously still got months to make moves to play around with things, but yeah, they're having some issues with their blue line. I mean, if they sign Savard on the 28th, that may fix things, but it's a little dicey right now in Edmonton.
People are really confused by you being in a different room and not wearing a jersey. And like, there's got to be people who are like, is this the right channel?
That's threw Lilybell off totally. Yes, and that cord in the middle of the floor scared her, so she had to jump over top of it.
She's not used to something in the middle of the floor.
No.
Hughes Brothers United and Admire and Heischer for Swiss Army knife flying at what cost? Realistic?
If you're talking about adding either Jack or Quinn Hughes, the asking price would be huge from either New Jersey or Vancouver. I can't see it. I'm kind of hoping New Jersey drafts Luke Hughes today just because I'd like to see them play together. And since the Canucks decided they didn't want to pick today, might as well see him go to New Jersey.
Which kitty is oldest?
Well,
Shadow and Bear from the same litter, and they're a year older than Lilybell and Pixel. I love chunky cats. I know. Lilybell is so sweet. I don't know if you can tell. They shouldn't be too hot. Yeah, can you go? Oh, look at. See, you can see the bunny. He's either like, okay, I lay here. They love to lay on the Chesterfield. That's like their favorite spot. That are on my cutting mat when I'm trying to cut fabric. Jake Bean to Blue Jackets.
I heard Jake Bean's getting moved. I heard like a second rounder or something like that coming back. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there, and we'll see what gets announced. I'm not going to have a lot of room on the board to put trades, but we'll see if I figure it out. Maybe I'll put something on my phone. You have a charger up for your phone?
Yes, there's one right here.
Where?
Right here.
My phone's not optimal.
Right here.
What did you do with it?
But he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is not a court for you. No, it's not.
Okay.
Good boy.
Sharks take Wallstead at 7 since they're in big need for a goalie.
I can't see Wallstead getting past the combination of Detroit, San Jose, and LA. One of those three has to take Wallstead. I'd be very surprised if they don't.
No, we don't have air conditioning. We live in the Lower Mainland. Most people don't have air conditioning. You'd only use it like for 1 week every 4 years.
Yeah, it's not even hot enough.
So
it's only 26 today, which is like
toasty.
80 Fahrenheit. It's not really.
That's toasty.
I'm not even hot. I'm just wearing a t-shirt. It's toasty. And I do that just because the jerseys get kind of sweaty.
Over 25 is hot.
It's not though. I don't consider it to be air conditioner weather until it's like in the mid 30s. Then I consider it air conditioning weather.
That'd be silly for a week.
Not
every
even.
couple
We would have
years.
only needed it for like 4 days this year.
I already got somebody said I missed some super chats, so I'm
Why did you
seeing if
miss
I can
them?
find them. Oh, thoughts on Cleveland Guardians?
I guess you keep the DIANS. I kind of liked spiders, but I guess people didn't like spiders, so I'm okay with it.
Does Vancouver make the playoffs with this team, assuming they fix the defense and goalie?
If they fix the defense, sure, but that defense, especially if they're going to trade Schmidt, that defense could be very interesting to say the least.
Hold on. Hey now, hey. As a Coyotes fan, so happy about Roussel. Will provide the sandpaper we lacked, and Hayden was a clown in fights.
Roussel, as long as he's controlled, very, very good, useful bottom six guy. He's just got to keep his temper a little bit more in check than sometimes he does.
The more I think about the Vancouver trade, the more I'm okay with it. All depends on OEL not being terrible for at least 2 to 3 years, though.
See, and Benning, because I've seen people saying, well, top four. The thing is, Benning said in the press conference after, he views him as being the number one defenseman in Vancouver next year. So his vision is that OEL is the defenseman you're building around. And the stats show that's a little bit dicey.
Okay, it's skipping around again. Okay, yeah, people are really confused by the room. Please tell me that Yvonne brought the heater up so that she's not cold. It's warmer upstairs because I don't know if you can see this. We have a huge window right there.
It is warmer up here than it is down in my
upstairs.
room. My room downstairs, not a problem.
It is significantly warmer upstairs. Have you seen any of the typical hockey fan overreactions and just died of laughter? If so, which ones?
Any
trade.
trade.
Oh my gosh.
Although people said I overreacted to the Canucks trade. The thing is, I wore a Canucks jersey because I'm like, yeah, they win it now. I don't know how this is going to look 2-3 years from now, but they win it now. So, anyways.
If Vancouver does move, Nate Schmidt-Friedman was saying it's a waiting game of 3 other defensemen, but where do you see him going?
You know, there's always going to be a market for defensemen. I think the issue is going to be that it'll be a disappointing return. That's part of the thing I'm wondering, too, is you're going from Schmidt, who's got a contract that's up in a couple of years, to get to OEL. I kind of like Schmidt better as a defenseman than OEL. I know he doesn't have the offense, but I kind of like him better as a top 4 than OEL. Schmidt, I could see him if he's willing to go to, say, like Detroit. It's clear that Detroit, Yzerman wants to make some improvements. Schmidt's going to bounce back next year.
Are you going to watch season 3 of Corey Perry versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, in which Corey Perry tries to achieve the never sought after bridesmaid dynasty and becomes the anti-maroon?
Oh yeah, Perry's been in Stanley Cup Finals back-to-back years. Hey, he's going for that bridesmaid dynasty.
Sleeping bunnies.
See how he's.
Yeah, Adelaide, why don't you get him one of the frozen water bottles from the freezer?
It might be a little bit toasty. Wonder if the Canes are getting close with Dougie. I don't get trading Bean otherwise.
I would think so, but clearly something's going on with Carolina. It feels like there's something going on budget-wise. I guess we'll see, but it definitely feels like they're pinching pennies.
What's the worst contract in the NHL?
Currently, that's a tough call. I would have said Jonathan Quick a couple years ago. I don't know that it's got enough term left to be considered the worst one. The Seth Jones one could end up being the worst.
Right by them.
If Price falls back, if Montreal misses the playoffs, that could be the worst. He's like, that's cold.
Hawks
Another
fan
little fawn
here,
at it.
very mad about picks and Boquist.
Yeah, I like Boquist a lot.
Do you think Nashville should hang a banner if they are Seattle's first franchise victory? Nice Thrashers jersey, by the way. Thank you. I got this before Shannon had this version of a jersey. So for a while, I had a jersey he didn't have.
Yeah,
Not
it took
that
a
I
while.
ever brought that up or anything.
No, it took a while for me to get that one.
Yeah.
Hey, bunnies.
It's a fun one. I like this one. But I like Thrashers jerseys. I know a lot of people don't.
Pickle loves to just move stuff around.
Why are you guys moving the
He
ball?
moved it over there. He's like, that goes over there.
And she's like, but I wanted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she'll pull it back.
You guys can see the bunny. Did Columbus
What are you
fleece
trying to do,
Chicago
sweetie?
with all those picks?
Oh, it sounds like it. It absolutely sounds like it. And again, Jones signs for $9.5 million a year for 8 years. That's the rumor, anyways. That's a lot of money for Seth Jones. A lot.
Where are we? We're in the upstairs.
Yes.
Can you see the Sharks moving any big names today?
Not likely. Okay, so it's Boquist, 2021 first round pick, number 12, the number 44 pick, and next year's first round pick too. Wow. The Hawks gave up both first round picks.
Okay.
Columbus could
Okay.
absolutely end up with Shane Wright. If that pick, is it protected? Is it lottery protected?
So cute. Okay.
Because if that pick next year isn't lottery protected, wow.
I want to watch the draft, but my parents fighting. See, with us, it's usually kids fighting, and then you can't hear anything.
We don't fight on camera. We save that for after. It adds up to the amount of time she calls me a brat, and then
You are a brat. We don't ever fight,
see,
though.
see, there
so.
you go.
A lot of people saying Skinner, 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 Skinner is the worst contract. Skinner, Skinner, Skinner.
Oh yeah, Skinner.
You missed why we're upstairs. Because we are.
It's more room.
We're throwing everybody off. That way everybody can't complain about me being in front of the board.
Yeah, there's more room. And then tomorrow for the draft in the morning, I'll be able to have rounds 2 through 7 on a big board.
Which that takes a big board.
That takes a giant board.
Can you make a video of the greatest NHL postseason chokes?
Didn't you do one like that?
I thought you did one like that. I mean, it might have been a while ago, but I thought you did.
I mean, I've got a video series on great seasons without a cup. That's one that's similar. I think I've done. I mean, I could do another one. I could do an updated one from recent years.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Did I? No. Can you see
answered that one? We
Okay,
asked
that's what
that
I
one.
did. Okay, got that one. It's skipping around. Kevin Weeks coming out saying to watch out for San Jose and New Jersey, potentially trading Meyer. Thoughts?
Meyer's going to have a bounce back year. I think Meyer's going to have a bounce back year. He would be a solid pickup for anybody who gets him.
Do you think the newly vamped defense in Philadelphia will help Carter Hart rebound and make a deep playoff run?
That's what they're betting on, picking up Ellis and Ristolainen. Those are some big moves. I think Risto, they probably overpaid a little bit. Ellis, they did very well to get Ellis. We'll see how it all adds up.
Hey guys, love the Atlanta jersey. I see a lot of Rangers fans hating on Drury right now. I think he's done great with the 2 trades this far. 2 cup winners, more moves to come perhaps. #injury we trust.
Yeah, I think the amount of pressure you're going to get in New York is going to be similar to like Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, and others. I think he's going to be fine. I think Gaudreau could end up being a really good pickup. That contract may age badly, but if they make the playoffs this year and if they do well in the playoffs, I think it'll end up being a smart signing, at least in the short term.
Alex Goligoski needs to stay in Arizona. He's hardworking and was the only regular defenseman who was plus last season.
Goligoski, I think they're moving on from him due to his age. I think that's why he's going to go on somewhere else. Look for him to sign a 1 or a 2 year deal, probably for not very much money either. He might be a guy that, say, like maybe Tampa looks at because they don't have a lot of money. So maybe they look to sign guys for cheap that are veterans that, want a chance at a cup. Goligoski might be a good fit there as a 6 or 7 guy.
Is OEL that broken down? Wasn't he one of the top defensemen in the league not too long ago?
Yeah, it's just his numbers have gone in the wrong direction. And last year for Arizona, the saving grace on that blue line, I've said it a few times today, was Chychrun. Oliver Ekman-Larsson just was not that good. And I think his cap hit is still in the top 15 amongst defensemen. We'll see if that stays true after Hughes and Makar get signed. But yeah, it's a lot of money for OEL. And I think that if Benning sees him as being the guy in Vancouver that they can build that blue line around, I don't know that that's going to work.
Do the Canucks have one of the best top nines in the Pacific?
Yes. I have but even before Garland, I think their top 9 was okay. There have been times where Benning's like, I think we need another top 6. And I'm thinking, you don't. That's not your problem. Your problem's on the blue line. So as long as they fix the blue line.
Oh, it was just the water bottle. Oh, I don't know if you can see them. Look at them both with their legs all flopped out. They shall go. Bunnies are adorable, just saying. Okay. Former Senators fan, now Kraken fan here in Miami. When are you guys going to join the rest of Canada and move down here to Florida? No.
Oh,
never.
Not Florida.
It would never happen.
No.
Ever.
I won't be Florida.
No.
Man.
I have no desire to move anywhere in the States. I wouldn't want to move to Florida. No offense to Florida or anything, but it sounds really hot and bugs the size of birds.
Friend of mine lived in Florida.
Hurricanes?
She enjoyed it so much that she's moved to Spokane, and she really likes Spokane.
Oh my gosh, no, Spokane. No.
So
nope.
That may be saying something more about her, but yeah, she likes it in Spokane.
No. That wouldn't happen
look at
either.
That.
Okay.
The mock draft. Kent Johnson to Arizona. That will just break my heart if that happens.
Why do I get so many weird looks when I wear my Sabres Miroslav's jersey in public?
It's a shame he never played for the Devils.
Yes.
It is a shame he never played for the Devils.
Because people would, wait, what?
That would have been awesome.
Could this be the year that we see more late round picks turn out better than usual since teams didn't get to scout like usual?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're gonna see some steals in this draft, which also means conversely we may see more busts in this year's draft than we would normally see.
Who do you think Vegas needs to acquire through trade to improve the team but also open up cap space?
They need to find some veterans that'll come in for cheap. They seem to have started that process, though, of bringing in different players by bringing in Nolan Patrick as a good example. They seem to be making the moves that they believe are going to improve the team. We'll see how it turns out.
People are still coming in really confused that we're in a different room. Do you think we'll see more trades for nothing like Philly to free up cap spaces?
Between now and July 28th, it's likely we see maybe 1 or 2 more. Usually those kinds of deals, though, will get done before the draft, and then you're just looking at buyouts after that.
People are wanting to know if you're going to change shirt with each pick. Can you imagine?
Not intending
Sometimes he doesn't even have time to write down a pick before the next one is, well, after...
In the second round.
By the second or third round, I guess.
Second round, it's constant.
The first round, they like to drag it out as long as possible because they know people are actually watching.
Yep.
If Jones doesn't return to form this season, does Bowman lose his job after this?
I would think so. That's a lot of money, and it's a lot of capital they're spending in order to get him. So they're giving up so much of the future that if this doesn't work out, and if they don't make at least a push for the playoffs, you'd have to think Bowman's job would be in danger.
Okay, it's skipping around a lot again.
Why are you skipping around?
Who can Boston sign or trade for to make them bigger cup contenders?
Keeping Hall is a big start. They have to circle back now on Krejci and get him to re-sign for another year. And then from there, they have to replace Lauzon. They have to get, I think, 2 defensemen on that blue line that can play at the NHL level and help them out, because for the second straight offseason, they've lost some depth on the blue line.
If I get the job, y'all should join me in Penticton. Pass. Thanks, though.
Penticton's gorgeous, though.
I wouldn't want to live there.
It's a beautiful part of the province.
There's a lot of beautiful parts of the province that I don't want to live. I like living here.
I would love to live in Valemount. Valemount's a beautiful, tiny community.
I like it here.
Just gorgeous.
If Jones doesn't return to form this... Oh, I already read that one. Somebody says, the hockey guy! There you go.
That's me.
It is, indeed. Oh,
the name that was a placeholder, and then it just stuck.
Hold on. Okay, there's that one.
Oh, this is on the... Sorry.
Flames fan here. I hope Tree Living doesn't trade down again this year, and here's hoping I win my workplace mock draft pool.
Good luck. Because the mock drafts this year are really all over the place.
There's not snow outside. It's hot here. It's 20. Yeah, my phone says 26 degrees.
That's not hot.
It's hot. It's hot. For here, that's hot.
That's seasonal.
Yeah,
even on the weather last night, they said this is just seasonal.
Yeah, the hot part of the season.
To me, hot is 32.
That's stupid.
Yeah, anything below 32, I'm fine.
No, anything above 25 is hot. No,
I had to pull the tree so that Shadow was in the video. So he shows up just to show that Shadow is never that far away from me.
Bodies. I mean, seriously, aren't they adorable? They put their little feet behind them. So cute. Okay, pick 2 shutdown defense that may be available for Philly.
2 shutdown. Savard's out there. Shutdown defense. I mean, Savard's the big one. It is going to be interesting to see how that works for them because they've got a lot of good offensive options. Although Ellis can play at both ends of the ice.
What do you think of the Wild's future cup soon?
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they win the cup soon? They have to keep Kaprizov.
Yeah.
Can't afford to lose Kaprizov.
No, he was really fun this year.
They're going to have to replace.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
They have to replace Suter.
They have to
replace Susie. They have to fix that blue line. There's some work to be done in Minnesota.
It can happen. They get to the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, it's just anybody can win.
They have to fix some stuff first.
Okay, let's see. Bunny's in the video, and my 4-year-old daughter's asleep. Aww. Aren't they so cute?
They really
They're adorable. Hey, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Just wondering.
Oh, okay. I don't know these letters. When you guys shorten stuff to letters, I don't know what they mean.
Yeah, she gets confused by letters.
We brat. If Shannon may think...
So there's...
Pardon me?
See, she gets confused by words. Shannon may think that now the Wings have Deli and net. They pass on Wallstead. Maybe look at somebody like Mctavish or Edmondson. I don't think Edmondson's there at 6.
Right.
They may still take Wallstead even with Nedeljkovic.
Arizona will be very competitive in 2 to 3 years. Really excited to be an Arizona fan right now.
I agree with people that are saying, wow, it looks like they're tearing it down to tank for next season. Yeah, it looks like they want Shane Wright.
Whatever. 26 is too hot.
It is not.
Okay. Sad Sabres fan here. What can we expect from Haig or however you spell it? Let's go Buffalo.
Haig is pure defense. There's not really the offensive side to it. And Flyers fans will tell you Haig's defense has had its ups and downs along the way. But I think for Buffalo, it was just they were trading out a defenseman, so they had to get one back.
What's 26 in Fahrenheit? That'd be
about 80.
82?
Yeah.
82?
Yeah, it's about 80.
Is that Casa?
So they've got all the hats in front of these guys again.
So
they've got all the hats, then you pick your hat of the team that drafted you.
Okay. It skipped again.
Because it's a virtual draft again this year.
Right. Hold on.
What did you do?
It's skipping to the bottom again, and then I have to... How are you guys? What impact will Podkolzin have?
Podkolzin is likely to start on the 3rd line and then work his way up from there. From what I've read about his offense, I don't think he lasts on the 3rd line. I think he ends up on the 2nd line pretty quick.
Do you think Dallas will re-sign Kling? If not, will they trade him? And who should they target to replace Big Rig and or Kling? What's Kling's worth?
I really hope they don't trade Klingberg. I will not be happy if they trade Klingberg. Would I be overly surprised? Probably not. But Klingberg, I really like the defenseman. I think that if they do decide to move him, they can probably get back either. You're looking at one of two things. Either you get another defenseman back, or you get back the kind of package that Columbus did for Seth Jones. If anything, Dallas should be looking at that Jones haul and say, wow, we could really get quite the haul for Klingberg if we can't keep him. But I really hope Dallas does. I love Klingberg.
I do know my vowels, so thank you. Borders opening back up on August 9th.
Not ours.
No, you're happy to be getting your packages that have been sitting in the States for 18 months.
We can't cross the American border. American borders.
Americans
closures
can come
extended.
here, though. So
Yeah. Americans can come into Canada as tourists. We're not allowed into the States.
we can't go there unless we
Nope.
have a good enough reason, which getting mail is not. So
Right.
Nope, we still don't get our mail.
Yeah, it's not considered essential.
Unless Americans want to drive our mail up here.
Right.
I'm sure people would volunteer for that, right? Sharks fan here in Cali. What do you think the Sharks do tonight?
I would say either a defenseman or a goaltender. At where they're drafting, there's going to be some prime defensemen and goaltenders there. So I get the feeling if Wallsted's there, they should take him.
Where do you think Adirati will go at the draft?
I don't think he goes higher than 15th. But this draft is very unpredictable. But he could slide. He could slide further down than that too.
Does Yvonne get time and a half for having to work upstairs? As Shadow's agent, he would like me to renegotiate his contract for better fringe benefits and more cat treats. He would love more cat treats.
He would.
All
But
day long.
this is just to prove he's always next to me. It's not that he likes being on the set down there. He's next to me. I come upstairs. He's on the tree here.
The name Shadow is quite fitting.
Yep.
What goalie do you think the Oilers should go for this offseason? No secret, they are looking.
Well, they've re-signed Smith, so unless they're trading Koskinen, they're really kind of up against it. I mean, I guess they could bring in Reimer and try to find a taker for Koskinen.
I still don't like that one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, but I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Buffalo is now on the clock for the number 1 draft pick. So they have 5 minutes during which they can announce Owen Power's name or doodle. You know what's weird? They've got the old Buffalo colors. They don't have the updated Buffalo colors in their office.
Looks nicer.
Why don't they have the updated Buffalo colors?
If it comes out as true that Bowman didn't report what happened to the police, do you expect him to get fired?
If it comes out that they knew as much as what's being reported, there's a lot of guys who were in the Chicago organization a decade ago who are going to be facing some pretty stiff ramifications from the league. I think it'll be the league because they have to do something.
Oh, kitty. I'm a Hurricanes fan, and I'm hoping Shannon will tell me that everything is going to be okay.
Oh, absolutely. The Canes are still in really good shape. That blue line and the forward group they have, they're going to be just fine.
I want a new buckshot. Oh,
Brandon
that picture's so funny.
I'm
That
glad he
one's
talked about it when
so
Seattle
funny.
took him.
That is awful. It's like those school pictures that you get and it's horrible, and you're like, well, can't retake it. Okay. Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Oh,
You're
okay,
at that.
there I am. Do you think Columbus takes Sebastian Casa at 11 if he is there?
Would not be surprised. They're out of 10 scouts. 4 of the 10 scouts, TSN's Bob McKenzie has. 4 of them took Casa ahead of Wallstead. He is being underrated by some in their drafts.
Thank you for the content. Tree Living is known for making moves at the draft. Who could be a good trade for Monahan or including their 13th overall?
Just look at any team's depth chart and see if somebody who needs to refresh their centers. Look for Buffalo Eichel rumors too while you're at it, because if it's a number 1 draft pick and it's Sean Monahan, maybe Sam Reinhart, who's not against coming out west, maybe Reinhart, Calgary. Have fun with it, because the draft, we always have fun with the idea of all these great trades, and usually they don't end up happening.
Worst overall trade today. Looking sharp today, by the way.
The worst overall trade today. That's a tough call. I'm not a fan of the cap hit on Jones. The $9.5 million cap hit on Jones is a lot. Okay, so Buffalo has drafted. It's Owen Power, right? Yep,
Yeah.
Owen Power. So all that speculation about how they might go another way with it. Nope.
Hello from Finland. Thanks for making my night shift entertaining. Do you know who are the next top Finnish prospects for the next few drafts?
Oh, I haven't got into the next drafts yet. The one thing I will say is that most of the websites that I subscribe to through Elite Prospects, Hockey Prospect, and others, they do get into the following drafts. So I will likely be doing videos during the summer on some of the next guys to watch for 2022 and 2023.
Thanks for the content, both of you, and my condolences on the OEL contract and losing your draft pick. Signed, Oilers fan.
Oh, yeah, an Oilers fan's really feeling bad about the Canucks right now, losing that. I love that jersey, though, the Buffalo one. That is so sharp.
It is nice. Does Tampa trade Killorn Johnson during the draft?
They've been trying to trade Johnson. Killorn, I'm not sure. If they do trade out Johnson and they're out from under Gord's contract, they may not have to trade Killorn. His contract's not that much longer, and it's not that much of a problem for them. So if they can get out from under Johnson's contract, they might be okay.
As a Hawks fan, don't mind the Jones trade, and Sign will have a lot of cap in 2 years with Kane and Taves up, so see what we can do till then.
See, and for me with Jones, I just think he's being overpaid. I think the contract is just too high.
What's going on in Nashville? Ellis, Arvey, Smith, Subban, Rene, Lavi, Fisher. A lot of that cup run team is gone. Locker room issues, maybe?
I think it's just that sometimes with a team you get stagnant, and lazy's the wrong word for it, maybe just too comfortable. So maybe it was just a feeling that it's just too comfortable in there and you've got to change things up. And so David Poile isn't scared to change things up.
I have the Devils taking Edvinsson at 4. I think Hughes is a risk because if you ever develop an issue with one of the brothers, you have an issue with both.
Hughes is on a lot of the draft lists a lot lower, and he's lower because he's seen as having less upside than some of the other guys in the draft. So there's some thinking that he may end up falling out of the top 10, depending on which list you look at. I just can't see with the last name Hughes him falling further than 8th. I'll say 8th or maybe 10th, but I can't see him falling that far.
Why is Lou so overrated among other GMs? Why does he want washed up Parise and cooked Suter? Would the Blues take Bailey for Tarasenko straight up? Also, I solved my jersey the THG way. I bought a new one.
New Jersey solved that problem. I think with Lou Lamoriello, it's just his teams are successful. The Islanders are successful. If he had signed some of these contracts and the Islanders finished outside the playoffs or didn't succeed in the playoffs, I think there'd be a lot more criticism. But yeah, he's done quite well. So Seattle's just sitting around looking around.
They're laughing because they don't announce it yet. They have to have enough time.
I think that's
Remember
what
that
it
from
is.
last time because they know
They kind of throw pens at the ceiling and they know what they're taking.
Right.
And now they're showing the projected forward lines for Seattle as if they're not going to take free agents and make trades.
Worst case scenario for Edmonton?
The worst case scenario for Edmonton would be crashing out of the playoffs this coming season. Keith has a miserable year, and McDavid demands a trade in the offseason.
We can fly to the U.S., but why would we do that?
So we would fly from Vancouver to
we
Seattle.
Only need to go like 5 kilometers south.
We'd rent a car in Seattle to drive to Blaine.
We'd have to drive the hour
get our
and a
mail,
half.
drive back to Seattle to get on a plane.
Oh my gosh! That would be
declare everything before flying into Canada. That'd be such a.
We'd have to.
pain.
Well, you don't have to fly home. You can drive home.
Oh, that's true.
But you'd have to rent a
rent a
car to cross international borders. Which
Sean
would be
Bean Sean Bean's gone.
Okay. That sounds like a big
for a
pain.
second round pick. Nice.
Yes, there's 2 bunnies right there. Aren't they so adorable?
Wow.
They're sleeping.
Columbus making some seriously awesome moves.
Does the Seth Jones deal make Kling too expensive?
No, because one deal shouldn't necessarily affect the other. His should be restricted by what Heiskanen makes. So Matty Beniers is going to Seattle.
Their
No
video
surprise
froze. Do you think Rass stays in Boston? Also, is DeBrusque going to be moved?
They're trying to move DeBrusque. I don't know if they're going to be able to or not. That cap net's high, and he didn't play very well last year, so he might be stuck in Boston for now. We'll see.
Yeah, you can't take a boat to the States either. I mean, not if you don't want to get a fine,
but they'll catch you going across.
And then
the
you
border.
don't ever get across the border again.
Yeah, they do. They do watch that. Those waters are pretty heavily patrolled.
Yes. Where do you think Sebastian Aho should have gone in 2015?
I think I had him in the top 5. I know I did a redraft on the channel. I think I had him in the top 5. But that 2015 draft is stacked.
It's not letting me go up any further. As a Rangers fan, I'm struggling to understand the Butch trade. Could you explain the benefits from a Rangers standpoint?
Must not have liked what the asking price was. They didn't want to have to deal with the RFA status, so they trade him out for a guy they feel like they can use. They save some money that way. They get a draft pick as well, and they can probably be a little more active in the market.
What do you think the Kings do with their first-round pick? Should they make the playoffs this year?
They could. If their prospects make that next step, they absolutely could. Like if Turcotte's ready, and if Byfield takes that step, they absolutely could be in the playoffs.
Vegas Sportsbook reportedly bracing for Rogers' retirement next week. Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio?
Yeah, I heard about Rogers. He turned down. They offered him like basically all the money, and he said, "Nah, I don't want all the money. I'm just nah." So I think he's going to retire.
Do you think there's a market for trading Holtby?
Negative market. Vancouver would have to retain cap money, and I don't know. I think you might be better off waiting to trade him until we get into free agency and goaltenders start coming off the board. At that point, maybe his value starts going up.
What has you more excited? All these crazy trades, or Brian Danielson going to AEW?
That's
allegedly?
Daniel Bryan.
All right.
That's his real name, Brian Danielson. But yeah,
okay.
AEW's been fun lately.
Where do you
it's
think?
It's been a great show.
Sorry. Okay. No,
You
I already
asked
read
me
that one.
Yep.
Yeah, because skipping around again. We Americans have no say in shutting you guys out. We wish you could come. Our government has represented us for decades.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. But yeah, we know it's not people that are.
It's okay.
That.
It's fine.
Canada depends a lot more on tourism than the States does.
Yes. Yeah, there's communities up here that have been crippled. Although I'd like to go to Point Roberts.
I do think it has to be really hard on places like Whatcom County, where when we go down there, like half the people going to stores are Canadian.
Point Roberts needs to talk to the American government since they can come here.
Yeah, because now all the Canadians can't go to their houses.
Right. Yep.
Does Bergevin try to trade Price during the draft since he couldn't give him away for nothing to Seattle?
No. Montreal's quite happy now to have Price and Allen under contract for another year. That's going to be their goaltending tandem in the fall.
Mctavish to Detroit at number 6.
It's possible. The highest that I've seen him go is 4th. I've seen him go as high as 4th. So I could see him go 6th. From 3 to 10, they could go in almost any order. Even Bob McKenzie said that today.
Jake Bean to Blue Jackets for the 44th from Jones deal.
Yep. So they now added Jake Bean in the deal for Seth Jones. It's a really good day if you're a Columbus fan, honestly.
OEL Myers pair may be fun to watch. Vegas beat.
It's apparently they're looking at OEL and Hughes. So either way, it may be a long season for Demko because their defensemen allow too many shots and they allow too many really good shots. It's been a problem in Vancouver for years. I don't know that OEL is going to fix that.
Hey, Shannon, now that Risto and Jones are off the market, who should the Jets target for defense? Love to the channel from Salmon Arm.
If Nate Schmidt's on the market, I think Winnipeg should absolutely target him if he's willing to play in Winnipeg. Yeah, Schmidt's due for a bounce back season. I really wish Vancouver would have given him another year to bounce back and show it. But if it's a matter of him not wanting to stay, all right. But otherwise, I'm kind of surprised they're not going to give him another year.
Sharks Rangers fan back in the live stream. Thanks for all your videos and being so consistent. Who are the Rangers potentially losing to get Eichel?
The word today, and I think it was Darren Dreger, said that the Rangers are kind of cool on Eichel right now because you're looking at first-round picks. You're probably looking at, I would think, either Kakko or Lafreniere, probably Kakko, right? And then you'd probably be looking at another young player. Buffalo's not going to give away Eichel. So the Rangers may be looking at the asking price and saying, forget it. And they may also ask for more out of a team in the East than they would out of the West, which is why you're going to see Anaheim and LA as favorites right now. Plus, Anaheim and LA have a lot of young prospects and draft picks that the Rangers may want, or that the Sabres may want in return.
Okay. Will Brendan Gallagher live up to his contract in Montreal?
His goal scoring's fallen off a lot, and I'm wondering if his goal scoring comes back. The one thing with Gallagher, though, is he's a heart and soul guy. So even if he's not scoring, he's still useful and he's still a leader. So they're just paying a lot of money for leadership if the goal scoring doesn't come back.
Pittsburgh fan here. What will Pittsburgh do to get back to winning ways? Who are they in for in free agency?
You know, it's going to be interesting to see with Hextall calling the shots there, what kind of moves they make. They could probably use some help defensively, but their goaltending really needs to be fixed. So if they go with the Smith and Jari into next year, I think they're in deep trouble. So as soon as we hit free agency, they should be in the market for a goaltender.
Is San Jose better off taking Wallstead or Edvinsson?
See, I like Wallstead because I like the idea of taking your number one goaltender. And so I like Wallstead, but we'll see.
Will Tyler Johnson get traded today or in the next few days?
I would think in the next few because we haven't heard anything yet about him getting traded today. There's rumblings about him being offered around, of course.
I'm a Caps fan who found your channel during the 2018 run, and I wanted to thank you for helping me make that playoff to remember.
Thank you.
What would be the best replacement that Bergevin should target for the loss of Weber?
And Dougie Hamilton. If he can get Dougie Hamilton, that'd be huge.
How do you feel about the Sharks and their cap situation for years to come? Is it time for a new GM? I miss the old Sharks.
I'm kind of surprised that they haven't made a change at the GM position. Those contracts are not aging well. We'll see. I think the Sharks are in trouble for a while.
Did you see the schedule, games to look forward to?
Yes, I was actually working on the schedule, video for that, so that'll get done soon, probably tomorrow. Just we kept getting trades, so it wasn't working. Mason Mctavish goes number 3 to Anaheim, so he ends up going at 3, showing just how crazy and unpredictable this draft is, because he was ranked as low as 10th on a lot of lists.
Should the Bruins buy out John Moore's contract?
If it's worth it. I mean, I don't know how much cap relief that gets you.
I meant to say my jersey problem. I no longer have to cover up the Tavares with duct tape. Oh, yeah. On my old jersey, I got a new one on eBay for $55 for old third jersey with white shoulders and just the New York. Good deal.
Yep, that's a good deal.
I do remember that, the duct tape, because I thought that was really funny. Does Vancouver need another shutdown defenseman?
Yes, desperately. OEL's not going to be that shutdown. They desperately need a shutdown defenseman.
Now that Seth Jones is gone, does this make the Avs' biggest free agency target Savard, or do they look for a wing to alleviate the possible Landy exit?
I would think you look at Savard. I think he's going to be a very popular target on the free agent market. Now that he's got a cup ring and people have seen just how good he can be, it's going to be a popular target.
Sent you a jersey for your collection. You should be getting it Tuesday or Wednesday.
Sounds cool.
Oh, I'm going to make him all excited for mail now.
You're usually the one excited for mail. Know what I'm saying? Huh? Get it?
Don't start
Get
that.
it? Huh?
Shannon, hey, shut it.
Huh? Did you get it?
That's enough. Top 3 teams in the Pacific Division next season.
Based on right now, Vegas.
It's funny bath time.
Edmonton, and I'll say Calgary. I'll say Calgary bounces back, and that they're the top 3. We get the Battle of Edmonton in the first round.
Okay. Top 3. I just did that one. Okay. Am I actually caught up? What? Close. Okay. Yeah. You get. No encouraging him. Stop it. Don't encourage him. Guys. Stop it. Shh.
Oh, well,
Are
Devils fans know they want Luke Hughes.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Shadow, what are you doing,
Minnesota Wild picking 22 and 26. Who you got?
Well, in the 21 and 25. The funny thing is, of course, the number 11 pick is just not there. That's the Arizona pick. I like the idea of if Ratu falls down to 21 that they grab him. I think it's going to be a pair of forwards for Minnesota. I know I did a video too for Minnesota, and I had somebody else going to them. I'm trying to remember who it was when I did the prospect videos. Can't remember
now. Would you demand a first-round pick and a top 6 forward in exchange for trading Yvonne? Yvonne and 2 of the cats and a bunny to be named later.
That's a pretty cheap price. That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, everything has a price.
Isn't that right, sweetie?
He's a brat. How you doing? You guys don't need to encourage him. He's a brat without being encouraged. All the time. Okay. For hat trick, is Yzerman an actual wizard?
Sure seems like it. He's done a very good job. His trades are always seem to work out really, really well, and his draft picks are usually excellent too.
When's the next time Pittsburgh? Again? There's always a leaf blower. I don't know what leaves they're blowing, but everything's dead. So there's nothing to blow.
It sure feels like that's accurate. Pittsburgh never has a first round pick, which is understandable because they're a pretty deep team that's had a lot of recent success. When a team doesn't have success and they're still trading away first rounders, that's when you start scratching your head.
Do you think there's any chance for a big offer sheet this year?
Yes. I think the Canucks, in acquiring OEL, I know that they've said they'll match any offer made to Pettersson. It is possible that a GM will call them on that. And Pettersson's price might be very expensive.
If Landeskog leaves Colorado, do you think Sakic makes a play for Drouin to pair him back up with McKinnon or target free agent forward?
I know Drouin's supposed to be back and able to play this year, but I don't know how much market value he has right now. So I would say the most likely scenario would be to look on the free agent market for somebody to help absorb the loss of Landeskog. You're not going to replace Landeskog. Not fully, not on the free agent market.
Good sticker.
I like stickers.
Good day from Australia. Well
Good day,
done, Vancouver. Don't.
What?
No. Well done, Vancouver on OEL for a first and Garland for a second. What is Van's next priority? Love the show.
Defensive defenseman. They need the defensive defenseman. They must have known they were going to take Hughes, because look at this. Look at all this Hughes stuff all over the place.
That's a lot of people.
All squashed together.
That's just weird. Okay. With Arizona stacking up with draft picks, where do you see Arizona stacking up in the upcoming years?
Well, the Coyotes for this year, I think the plan is to bottom out. And then next year, they draft, hopefully first overall would be their preference. So, yeah, Luke Hughes goes number 4 to New Jersey. So, defenseman. There you go. So, if you're a Canucks fan and you're like,
oh my gosh, he looks
Hughes.
like he's 12.
He's one of the Hughes brothers. Of course he does. See, and he gets to play with his brother Jack.
They look excited.
They are definitely excited.
Look super excited.
And now Quinn demands a trade to the New Jersey Devils. Get that rumor started. Let's get her going.
Love your content from the beginning, Shannon. On behalf of Leafs Nation, will you be doing a Matt Sundin career video soon this summer? Also, shout out to Yvonne for the Thrashers jersey. Thank you.
I do plan on doing more career videos during the summer.
They do all look
Sundin
like
would
they're 12.
work because Sundin is in the Hall of Fame and I do the Hall of Famer videos. So, yeah, there's a good possibility that a video will get done on him this summer. See, Luke's bigger than his brothers.
Okay, read that. When will it be Shannon's turn to have his hair dyed, and what color will it be?
I've complained about wanting my hair dyed. She won't do it.
That's not how that conversation goes.
You laugh.
He shaved. Can you guys see how short his hair
You laugh.
is?
Every time
He
I say
shaves
I want
it.
my hair colored, you're like, what hair? And you laugh
It's true.
and you giggle.
Like
See?
his longest hair is a centimeter long.
Uh-huh.
Not my first pick, but how did my Ducks do?
Mason Mctavish is a forward with a lot of upside, and I think it was Bob McKenzie had him at 4th, so he's highly rated, and he jumped. He has jumped throughout the year, higher and higher up in the drafts. So he was trending in the right direction, and we'll see how he does for Anaheim. But that's another good young forward for him.
Columbus making Matisse smile in heaven.
I would say so. So now,
Blue Jackets
5
fan
Columbus.
here. Is the Jones trade strictly about money, or is this another example of Columbus failing to retain big talent?
Seth Jones at $9.5 million a year. That's too much money. That's a lot of money. So I do think that has something to do with it. Think of it this way: if they'd kept Bobrovsky and Panarin and now Hughes, or not Hughes, I'm looking at Hughes on the TV, and Jones, you'd be paying $30+ million for those 3 players every year. It's a lot of money. It's hard to put a team together when you're spending that much money on that few players.
Konnichiwa from Japan. Shannon Levon, thanks for all you do. Let's go Bruins.
Thank you.
I am seeing a lot of people that we haven't seen for a while.
There you go.
So I think this stream has brought some people out. That's kind of fun. What's Shannon's favorite food? Burgers.
Yeah, and chicken strips.
True.
Chicken strips are fantastic. When they're done right, chicken strips are perfect.
Long-term
So Columbus is up
effects
next.
of Arizona getting back into this draft.
The long-term effects? I think for Arizona, I think it was important to them to be in this draft after they lost that first-round draft pick. And I think the price they paid to Vancouver, they're absolutely willing to do that because they understand the Central is going to be brutal next year. To me, it makes total sense to say, yeah, we might as well build for the future. I think if they get Johnson at number 9, which is the rumor, I think they're going to be quite happy with him.
As a Lightning fan, if Tampa ever traded Stamkos, where do you think would pick him up? Love the channel.
I know Toronto would make that phone call. I know that Dubas loves his core and everything, but I think if Stamkos became available, I think he'd at least call and look. And I think that most teams would at least call and see what it would take to make that work. Stamkos would be a very popular target based on name, based on his talent. And his contract, while it's expensive, it's not outside of what he should be making.
Are they in the locker room?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Why
What's
not?
with the stripy shirts?
They're at Nationwide Arena. Yeah, they're in
the locker room.
Yep.
They don't have any
Why
other
wouldn't you be in the locker room?
rooms they could be in.
So Dylan Guenther is the best pick on the board, or William Eklund. I think they take Eklund. Eklund's the pure scorer amongst them.
I'm having too much fun sitting home booing Van Gary. Okay.
Gary's
again. Do you think Besser will be a casualty of the cap?
Next year? Yep. I would not be surprised if he was.
Okay, there we go. What is the offer sheet to get Dangle away from the Leafs? Also, do the Blue Jackets grab a C and a winger with the early picks?
I think there's a winger coming up here. I think it'll be Eklund. I'd be very surprised if it's not.
THG channel, the hockey channel that makes all other channels look meh.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far.
He's really cute though, so that
You're
really
biased,
helps.
Yvonne. You're biased.
No, they all think you're really cute too.
No, you're biased.
I could put up a poll.
We're not putting up
community
a poll.
tab. It'd be great.
We are not putting up a poll.
Do you see Quinn going to New Jersey after his bridge deal?
It will be interesting to see if Quinn wants to play with his
Still
brothers.
bath time.
It will be interesting to see if that is what ends up happening.
Yeah, fine. Okay, do I get my hopes up and think Lou actually does anything to upgrade the Islanders, or will he break my heart and sign more washed-up has-beens for no playoffs?
I think he'll get the most out of his picks. I think that the Islanders will still be in the mix next year. They probably won't have home ice advantage in the first round, but in the playoffs, it's a whole other beast, and they'll always be competitive.
What? Lazy Eternal, can you write with your right hand?
No,
I can write with my right hand.
you
So
can. If you want to switch and you write the picks on the
no,
board,
because I'll spell things wrong, and then the
How can you
comment
spell them
section will
wrong?
be
It's right on
about
the
how I
TV.
don't know how to spell things. And with OEL gone, who will be Arizona's
Johnson.
next captain?
Wow, Kent Johnson. Well, Arizona's not happy right now. Their next captain could be Clayton Keller. I could see Keller being the guy to go to as the next captain. I am really surprised Kent Johnson goes 5. That's high. So if you're the Canucks, 2 of the guys that you wanted at 9 are already gone. Kent Johnson, though, I really like him. I had hoped that Vancouver would draft him at 9, but yeah, it makes sense that he's gone already. That means 3 of the top 5 are out of Michigan State or Michigan University, not Michigan State, Michigan University. That's insane. 3 of the top 5 are out of Michigan. That's a good program.
A little late to the party, but it's been quiet on the Kraken rumors. Do you think any big trades are coming?
They have to trade defensemen. They have too many guys who are NHL level. They have to trade defensemen.
Hello from Riverside, California. Wanted to know who the Kings might pick, and do you see them as making it to the playoffs this year? Keep up all you do.
If they're going to make the playoffs, they need the development from those prospects. If their young forwards take that step, if it's Velarde or Byfield, then yes, absolutely.
We agree. He is really cute. I know, right?
Stop.
Yes. He's kind of shy about. See, look, he's cute. About cute. Paul.
So
see. Okay.
Number 6.
You think any players or nations boycott the Olympics next year, or will they appease Winnie the Pooh? I wouldn't be surprised if some do.
There likely will be some boycotts. I don't know how many, but there'll likely be some. Come on.
Could the Oilers actually get both Hyman and Hamilton, or could they only afford one of them? If they only can afford one, who is their first choice?
Rumor has it they've already come to an agreement with Hyman on a contract. It's just a matter of whether or not Toronto trades the rights, or if that can't happen, then they just sign him on Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much is left over. I think they'll try to get both. I don't know that they can.
Are the Wild going to get lucky and have another Marco Rossi prospect fall to them like last year?
It's possible.
Rumors that the Bruins might be dealing the number 20 pick to Arizona. What would need to come back to make that acceptable?
I mean, Arizona's always looking to move money, so it's probably one of their veteran players, but I would think if they threw in another draft pick along with with another player, maybe.
You think any players are... Oh, I already read that one.
Adelaide, he doesn't want to be on his back.
Thoughts on Blues trading for Pavel Buchnevich? Armstrong stated, stay tuned, possibly tonight. Rumors are heating up for Tkachuk. Cross our fingers.
I would be very surprised if Tkachuk gets traded. The asking price for Tkachuk has been very high. Buchnevich, solid pickup for them, though. That makes up for if Hamilton or Hoffman leaves.
Thoughts on inactivity on defense from the Jets?
Maybe the market's too rich for them. Maybe they've dabbled their toe in there. Maybe the market's too rich. They're just waiting for the UFA market. See how that shakes out.
Chicken strips ever had Raising Cane's in Vegas?
No, we haven't tried that. Sadly, no.
Should the Isles bring back the Fisherman jersey as their primary jersey?
No, but I think if they did like a theme night, if they did like a throwback to it, I think that'd be fine. But it'll never be a primary.
Tampa not re-signing Coleman. Do the Stars try, since he's from North Texas and we need to replace Dickinson? Take care of Dickie. We loved him here in Dallas.
Dickinson's a very good third-line center. I think Vancouver's going to be very happy with him. They should, at the very least, make those phone calls. And, of course, if they really want Coleman, they could make a deal for his rights with Tampa Bay right now. Tampa Bay is trying to move the signing rights for either Coleman or Savard. I think they'd at least make the phone call.
Oh, goodness. It's skipping really bad now.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm trying to find where it left off. Okay, there we are.
She's grooming him.
She does all the time.
She was chewing on his ear.
Yeah, she cleans his ears all the time. Caps need to bring a W Eagle jersey this season.
That'd be fantastic. I haven't heard anything about a new Capitals jersey, though.
Why the flip is draft on ESPN2 while a random basketball game is on ESPN? I guess ESPN doesn't really care about the NHL helping it grow.
I'm just glad it's on an
And
ESPN
here we have it on
channel at this point.
Sportsnet, and it's on a
Yeah, in
gajillion.
Canada, it's on everything Sportsnet. There's like 5 different channels, and it's on all of them. So the pick is in for Detroit. We're down to number 6.
Little late to the party. What's everyone's opinion on the Canucks Arizona deal?
The Canucks win the trade right now. A year or 2 down the road, Arizona's going to feel pretty darn good about it.
How are Columbus looking for the upcoming season?
I think Columbus is going to be good. I think that adding Jake Bean, I think that's solid. They had Boquist and the Jones deal. I think they're going to have a solid team that also they're going to be able to go out and add somebody potentially in free agency. I think they're in good shape.
Love your channel, Shannon. Thanks for helping me three-peat in my fantasy hockey league with your daily regular season game review videos. Who do you think the Blues will pick at 17th? Let's go Blues.
That's a tough one. I'll say Coronado. If Coronado's there, I'll say Coronado, although I want him to drop 20, so he ends up going to Boston.
Cheers from Maine. Love the channel. Thoughts on the Bees starting Swayman and Vladar next season? I hope they don't rush their development.
Vladar's at the point in his career now where if he's not going to be ready to be the guy, they need to move on from him. I think he's 23 or 24. Swayman, I think, is going to be just fine. And then the idea is that then they might sign Rask, and then he comes back in January, and he'd be a 1A, 1B situation there.
Hope Wolverines don't have a season of crickets ahead.
Mm-hmm.
In the U.S. draft on ESPN2, not ESPN, opinions.
It's on an ESPN network, which is still better than some of the networks the NHL's been on over the last 20 years.
Hi, guys. Looking forward to see you two in Vegas eventually. Do you think Vegas can pull off a contract for Alec Martinez?
Yes, because I never count out Vegas being able to sign anybody for anything. They don't care about the cap either. They just figure it out later. So if the contract's there, if he signs it, they'll figure it out.
If Weber's really out, who's next Habs captain? Gallagher, Suzuki, or someone else?
I would think you go to Gallagher. I'd be kind of surprised if they don't go with Gallagher.
Hello, Adelaide. Who does she think the Leafs will pick? She's going.
I guess she doesn't know. All right, so
Like, wait, somebody's talking to me and asking me a question.
Simon Edmondson.
She usually likes questions about cats or what's your favorite color or what's your favorite hockey team.
So Simon Edmondson goes to Detroit at 6. That means San Jose's on the clock at 7.
Okay.
Edmondson is supposed to be a fantastic defenseman.
Who, in your opinion, is the most likely top free agent to sign in Seattle? Any honorable mentions?
Well, Derek Ryan should. Derek Ryan's UFA coming out of Calgary. He's got hometown connections to Seattle. They have a lot of cap space. They're going to be in on Dougie Hamilton. They're going to circle back on Gabriel Landeskog. It's possible. You've got enough room. You can sign both. Seattle, I think Ron Francis wants to make a splash. I think he wants to do it his own way, and I don't think he wants to give up a lot of assets to do it. That's why he didn't make a whole bunch of side deals. I think they're going to be a player on Wednesday.
Yvonne's the coolest girl I know. Oh, well, thanks. Not very many girls because I'm not very cool.
You were my best option.
Oh, that's so romantic.
You're better than being alone. Is that good? That's good, right? I'd rather be with you than nobody. That's a compliment, right?
Okay, anyways, moving on. Guess I should have posed the question differently. Any big names to Seattle? Also saw today, Kraken preseason tickets in Spokane start at $750.
Yeah, because they're reselling them. They're reselling them.
That looks very good, sweetie.
Yeah, that's what happens with reselling. Welcome to the land of reselling NHL tickets.
That's insane.
That's a lot of money.
Eklund is probably the most NHL-ready player in this draft.
Yeah, I'm surprised Eklund's fallen this far, actually. I thought he would be off the board by now. That's strange. And yet for San Jose, I'd be kind of surprised if they don't take Wallstead.
Okay.
She's giving him a back massage.
How? Kit just standing on her brother. It's okay. He sits on her.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be right here. You're in the way. Too bad. How will Vegas create cap space to re-sign Martinez?
Trade off a contract. Find somebody to take one of the other contracts.
Please Ingrid, put camera down. We can't see the Cavs.
Nope.
You guys are missing out.
Nope.
Just tell you right now. Love you guys.
Not really. I'm
Sending
wearing
support
pants.
from Texas. It's like legs of steel.
Hey, that's nice.
I know, right? Okay. There's another Jack Hughes coming in 2022. He's a top prospect, not related. How do you work with the jerseys if he ends up in New Jersey? Jay Hughes 2.
When there were two Greg Adams playing for Vancouver, there were two guys named Greg Adams playing at the same time. They went by middle names. So it was Greg C. Adams on the back of the jersey. And then I think with the regular Adams, they just left it. They left Greg Adams the same, although everybody called him Gus. So it was Gus Adams and Greg C. Adams, which thankfully didn't last very long in Vancouver. But you would just add the middle initial and probably you might just have the first and second initial and then the last name, but you'd have that kind of a distinctive way of telling who was who.
If the long shot at the NHL expands to 36 cities in the next decade, what 4 cities would you choose?
Houston, Quebec, Portland, because I'm greedy and I would want to see a team within driving distance. And then I'd love to see Hamilton. I know Hamilton could absolutely support a team. And I know all the naysayers and I've heard all the negative stuff. Hamilton could support a team. Kitchener could support a team. If you had the building for it.
How much Kirill going to get when he signs back?
He's going to get a lot. And I think it's going to be over $8 million. You look at some of the money that's being thrown around today, his asking price keeps going up with these new contracts.
This isn't a new set, it's just our living room. So
it's a new
you guys
set.
get to see a new room in our house. Ooh,
It's a new set.
nice. And you get to see Bunny. She's totally on him. Can you guys see this? They're like cross.
Yeah, she's right across her brother.
They're both asleep, little feet flopped out. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. Love you guys. Sending support from Texas.
Yo, Texas.
Yo. The rumors have been that Boston has been talking to Arizona all day with OEL gone. Do you think they would bring back Kessel?
I would be shocked if Boston brought back Kessel. That would be one of the most surprising things, along the same lines as like if Vancouver brought back Jared McCann. Like this would be that level of surprising.
They don't have personal space.
Nope.
How will Vegas create cap space? Oh, I already read that one.
You did. Good job.
See, and I was going to skip again. Greetings from the Keystone State.
I know. It's escaping me right now.
What are your thoughts on Philly's restructured blue line for
I think
the
it's
next
Pennsylvania.
couple seasons? What makes it a Keystone?
Philadelphia's
What?
blue line looks solid right now. I know that Ristolainen may be overrated on some level, but yeah, Philadelphia's blue line it was a problem last year. Shouldn't be a problem this year. I love Ellis's game.
Oh, there's an Adelaide question. Are you ready? Are you really telling me just a moment? Okay. Who's your second favorite hockey team? Because everybody knows your first is the Leafs. Who's your second?
You're
What?
right
I
in front of
can't
a
hear
giant
you.
mouth, dude. There's a shark right behind you.
Anything?
Watch yourself.
Probably
You're right.
whoever's winning. Okay, well, she's going to think about that. Yvonne, why is TEG still stealing your content? Because he's a brat. How far off is the Penguins' reset, do you think?
The Penguins, I think, after this season, if they're out in the first round again, I think that's when you start seeing things get torn out. William Eklund just went at number 7 to San Jose. So Wallstead now is down to 8. I can't see him getting past LA, but we'll see.
What's the chance of Rask retiring or getting re-signed, since he said he won't play anywhere else?
I would ballpark it at 50-50. He's not closing the door on coming back, so I would say it's 50-50 chance.
Okay, I think. Hold on. And it skipped again.
And I agree.
Adelaide
I think
has
Eklund
better
could be a steal.
teams than we do. What's the plan for the Leafs without Hyman?
They have to replace him. You have to get a top 6 forward now to replace him, and you have to find the money to be able to replace him. So Toronto has to fix that somehow.
Since Vegas paid $600 million, Seattle paid $700 million. How much would the next entry fee be? $800 million?
The market drives that, so it's what they're willing to pay. And if an owner came in and said, "Hey, so how does $800 million sound?" The NHL would have a hard time saying no. They would have a difficult time saying no.
Where do you think Hamilton and Landy end up signing?
For Hamilton, it could be anywhere, and especially with the prices that he's going to be able to charge now. Landeskog, I think Colorado will do everything they can to try to bring him back. If he wants $9 million plus, there's limited places. Like Seattle might be a good fit for Landeskog if he wants the most money.
Thank you for reigniting my love for hockey, only to then remember I'm a Flyers fan, LOL. Anyways, I'll stay and watch.
There you go. Yeah, and the Flyers won't be on the board today, but, that happens.
Do you see the Flyers making any moves tonight? Thoughts on the Ristolainen trade? Do you think Tarasenko is moved tonight? Love the channel, by the way.
It doesn't feel like there's going to be a lot of deals during the actual draft. And today, or I guess it was yesterday, there was a press conference where Doug Armstrong basically said they're willing to hold on to Tarasenko into next season and keep him. So if they're going to keep Tarasenko, at least if they're thinking about it, that tells me there's probably not a trade right now.
Bunnies are just so funny. Okay, what do you think the Hawks should take at number 32 to make his fans happy? Because we remember what just happened.
At 32, it's tough because this is such a wide open draft. This draft is just so tough to call. So I'm not sure who you take.
Do the Blue Jackets picking KJ hurt Arizona at all?
There's going to be a really good player available to them. Okay, so no goaltender taken by the Kings either. Brant Clark.
Does Columbus move Corpy? Or if so, what do they target in the trade?
So Brant Clark goes to LA. I don't think Korpisalo is getting traded. I don't think either of their goalies get traded. You need 2 goaltenders, especially with the I was looking at the schedule today. There are so many back-to-back games this year. You have to have 2 goaltenders.
Did you decide who your second favorite team is? Okay, who is it?
The Canucks.
There you go. That took a while.
So yeah, Brant Clark goes to LA, and next up is Arizona. So maybe they take Jesper Wallstead.
Pennsylvania is the Keystone State because it was the keystone of colonial America since it was in the middle. Oh, well, there you go.
And
no,
1827.
Okay.
When it was part of Canada.
What is the plan for the Leafs? Oh, I read that one too.
Loser.
Oh, now it's going to skip again.
Yeah.
The chat is just not behaving. Will Riley Smith or Marchessault be traded?
They'll probably look at, of the 2, I would say Marchessault might be the one they look at trading. Riley Smith, I think, is still more useful of the 2, but yeah, Marchessault, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded.
How fast does Shannon write on whiteboards during a game, as in words per minute? Just curious.
I write a lot.
He writes a lot. He writes fairly fast, but sometimes another goal will happen. Kind of like when you're at the game, how they haven't even announced the last game and there's another game. That's funny.
There are about 15 days on the schedule they just published where there's 13 or more games in a night. I'm going to be very busy this season. None with 16 games, though.
That's nice. Predictions on top 3 in the Metro next year?
Top 3 in the Metro. I still think Carolina will be there. Washington somehow by hook or by crook. And I wouldn't rule out the Islanders because it's the Islanders, and somehow they just managed to get into the thick of things. I think Pittsburgh will have a little bit of an adjustment. They're probably still a playoff team, though.
What happens first? Prince Charles becoming king or Canucks winning the cup?
I don't think either of them are going to happen. There's been a theory for a long time that the Queen doesn't want Charles to be king.
I don't, but
that she's just waiting until she can give it to William.
I think most people would prefer William.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Carolina's trade to the past 2 days? The past 2 days.
I thought they dodged a bullet by keeping Jake Bean, and then they traded him. They traded Nedeljkovic. If they're able to re-sign Bernier, I think it's not a bad deal at all. Clearly, they're trying to get some draft picks. I think Carolina's a contender. I think their forward group's excellent. That's going to keep them in a lot of games.
They're now saying that really bunnies do just like cats do. They sleep and bathe all day long.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think Fedor's Svechkov or Nikita Chibrikov fall to Nashville?
Svechkov should be gone when Nashville picks. Svechkov is an elite defensive forward. But because of the lack of overall offense and people feeling that his offense just isn't quite there, he could fall to Nashville. I can't see him getting past Nashville.
Who's taking advantage of the system more, ESPN and this countdown clock or Tampa and the salary cap?
The NHL does this. The NHL draws this out as much as possible because we're only on the number 9 pick and they've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. They do draw it out. They absolutely, because you can see when you look, you'll see the whole office. They've already decided. These guys have had their draft lists for months, so they already know who they're going to take. So when it's their turn and the clock starts, they're like, well, we're taking this guy. We know. So the rest of it is just to try to build drama and just in case there's a trade. But they know who they're taking.
Thanks for all your hard work. Enjoying your content daily from Tennessee.
Thank you.
I also use your coffee mug every day. Love it. Any plans for a larger mug in the future?
That'll be true.
Teesprings doesn't have a larger one right now.
No.
They have so many options when it comes to shirts and hoodies.
Unless we design one for a different site.
Right. But for non-t-shirts and hoodies, there's not a whole lot of options. That's really the options. I haven't checked on there in a little bit. I should look on there again sometime and see it. Because every once in a while they add new options for us. But yeah, they only have one option for mugs. So predictions on top 3 in the Metro next year.
You already asked me that one.
Oh, I sure did. I already read that one, and it's... I already read that. It's stuck. There we go. What are you doing?
Hi.
Okay. Hey, THC, I've been wondering why you only write in uppercase on the board.
Easier to read.
That is a very common thing with teachers, too.
Yep.
Especially if you're using chalk.
When I was doing, I used to work at a call center, and I would do teaching on the whiteboard, and I would just write in all caps because I found that if I didn't, it was more likely I would scribble, and it was more likely I'd be having people ask me to clarify what I'd written. So I just did it all caps. It's easier. People can read it better.
Can you give a quick rundown on Gary Bettman's involvement in the War of 1812?
Well, see, a lot of it comes down to his being a vampire, which that started in 1794. So, he was born in 1726. When did the Cossacks take over Germany? No, see, because he came out of, because the Cossacks took over Germany. Then there was the barbarians came in from England and took them out.
Why are you messaging me?
And Bettman, he was in charge of the Cossacks when they came out. And then, so you know how clouds work, right?
Okay. Anyways, moving on now.
See, Arizona's using the
Chances
Kachina.
of Wild winning Cup in the next 5 years.
It's hard to go against that with Kaprizov, but I'll say maybe 30% chance.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Dylan Guenther goes 9th. They had to be shocked that he was that far down. I'm kinda surprised,
Wings
too.
defense, 3 years. Cedar, Edvinson, Ronick, and Lindstrom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've got some fantastic defense. So now at number 10, you've
Oh,
got
a
Ottawa.
change of scenery.
Ottawa has to take a goalie here at 10 because you've got two pretty darn good goaltenders. They have to be shocked that Wallsted's available at 10. I'm surprised Wallsted's available at 10.
It is a change of scenery. He's only wearing a shirt.
That's not what that means.
You
That's
are
not what it means.
definitely.
See,
the
what's
scenery.
weird is, so that's the 10th pick now is Ottawa's, and then the number 11 pick is Arizona's, but it's forfeited. So why do they keep referring to that as the number 11 pick? It's not a pick. Just skip
Like
past
to
it and go
rub
to
it in.
11 as being Columbus because it
Rub
throws
it
the
in.
whole thing off.
What do you think the Bruins will do?
You know, I think they should. First off, you pick best player available on draft day when you're drafting 20th. And secondly, they need to fix that blue line now with Lauzon out. They're going to need to fix that blue line.
He's cleaning his ear. So cute.
Yeah, but his sister just
Chances
did that.
of, but you know, sometimes your sister doesn't do a very good job. So, and she's back to sleep. Chances of not being disappointed by the Canucks. Good luck with that.
50-50. This year they should bounce back. Adding Ekman Larson will help on some level, but they have to be able to keep the puck out of their net, and we'll see how that works for them. Man, Dylan Guenther's the loss for the Canucks in that trade. Oh man, that's brutal. I didn't think Guenther would be available at 9. I hope Benning's kicking himself a little bit right now.
If Dubas is forced to break up his core, who would he move first, and what would he get in return?
I would think that William Nylander would likely be the most attractive trade option for other teams and probably for himself as well. I don't think he would look to move Marner. Who should he move would likely be of the 4. I would be most likely to say Tavares, but I think Nylander can get you the best return. And so I think he would probably be one of the 4 to go. But Dubas has doubled down on it again. He doubled down at a press conference that he's got faith in that core and he's not changing it.
Thoughts on PK Subban? Personally, I like him a lot.
I like Subban. He's overpaid, but I like Subban.
We were
I think that
talking
he's
about him the other day.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think he's just overpaid now.
Bettman is a vampire. Where do I get that shirt?
Well, let's see. They have where's Transylvania's just
Okay, anyways.
Okay, so you've got
Go Yotes.
if you
There
hang
go.
a right. Okay, so you go to England and then you hang a right,
Shut it.
or is it a left?
I'm psyched with the Hughes pick. Hopefully they push each other to extra limits now.
Luke won't be in the NHL this year, so it'll likely be an extra year, but he could be an absolutely fantastic pick for New Jersey. That blue line should be getting stronger.
Who gets in the Hall of Fame first, Alex McGinley or Eddie Livingstone?
You know, maybe Livingstone. Maybe I can push him there with a couple more videos.
Oh my goodness. Bettman has embraced his heel persona finally.
Oh, he knows. He knows, and it's, I mean, you can only fight it for so long.
Please do a power rankings for mascots after Seattle unveils there. But first, Gritty would like to speak to you.
I had
Gritty's
I had
awesome.
Gritty at number 1 the last time I did
Gritty's
power rankings, I think,
awesome.
for the mascots.
Can't believe Sharks got Eklund at 7. How far away is he from making the NHL?
He might be the most NHL ready of the prospects. He, at the very least, probably gets that 10-game tryout this year. Wouldn't be surprised to see Eklund stick around since San Jose needs forwards.
I'm surprised Reinhart and Eichel are still currently Sabres. I thought one would have been gone by now for one of the top 10 picks this year. Trading for a 2022 pick this offseason, you don't know where you are picking yet.
But the 2022 draft is supposed to be stacked. So I think that's that's likely going to be part of the deal for either Reinhart or for Eichel. And the asking price is going to be high, and rightfully so for both.
Now that we've established Bettman being a vampire, what did you think his involvement in the American Revolution?
See, what happened was, so remember
You
when
guys are encouraging him.
remember when Lincoln went
way
out
too
to the
much
theater
today.
and he got shot? Did you know the actual story of that was quite different? So Lincoln, he wasn't actually there that night.
Okay,
That was
anyways,
his buddy,
let's move
Gabe.
on.
That was Gabe Lincoln. And so Abe Lincoln was actually next door.
Oh my
It was
gosh,
Gabe
no.
Lincoln, and then
Shannon.
and then
Okay,
Abe,
anyways,
his twin
That's enough.
cousin.
That's enough. Okay, let's
right.
see here.
I didn't get to Bettman's part
Do you
yet.
think Chara and or Lundqvist go for one more year with Caps? P.S. I will send you my extra Utica comic skate style jersey in black, red, yellow if you need that.
I didn't even know they did that. That sounds great. What was called to the Chara and or Lundqvist? I think they'll circle back with Lundqvist. Chara, I think the door's open. If he wants to come back, I think the door's open. He was a solid pickup for them.
Will OEL replace Edler as the Swede on the defense?
It sure looks like it. I don't think that they're making a move to keep him around. So, wow. So no Jesper Wallstedt there either. So Ottawa announces the pick, and they go to that room, and the room just looks quiet.
They weren't ready.
Wow, Tyler Boucher, 10th over. Okay,
It looks like a big old 4th of July party there.
all right. Tyler Boucher.
That's
the first one that seems a little bit off center. So now we go back to Columbus, which is the pick they got from Chicago, right? So yeah, that's the Columbus picking in Chicago spot. I only have one of each logo, so I apologize, but Columbus is on the clock.
If you are Gary Bettman and you have 2 vampires, you then kill one. What is the circumference of the sun?
28,000 miles. 28,965 miles is the circumference of the sun.
Thoughts on the island?
I know astronomers see it different,
I'm asking
but the reality is...
Thoughts on the Islanders' moves thus far?
I think that getting rid of Ladd's contract's a good move. I know that it was expensive for them to do it. Losing Eberle hurts, but it frees them up some more cap space. If they can get Parisi and Suter on the cheap and then pick up one more player, I think they're in good shape. Their goaltending's still intact. I think they're in good shape for next year.
Casa for wings at 22. No brainer, yeah?
If he's still there. I'm really surprised that Wallstedt hasn't been taken yet. I had Wallstedt going at 6, so yeah. General managers do not take goaltenders in the top 10.
No encouraging Shannon, guys.
Is it because of Gabe Lincoln?
They're twin cousins?
Yes, there are twin cousins. See, what happens
anyway, no. Okay,
that's when the egg splits.
No. Okay, what do the Winnipeg Jets... I don't even want to know the rest of that.
What
do the Winnipeg Jets do to fix the defense?
I think they're looking at. I think they're going to look on the free agent market. They've got some money to do that.
There's got to be new people to the channel that are just like, what in the world is he talking about?
Okay, so
no.
Cousins,
this
the way
is
that
not
works.
the time.
So when cousins before they're born.
No. Okay, I'm trying to find another question. Okay, does Newfoundland ever get a QMJHL team again?
That depends. I know they've got the Grizzlies, and I've got 2 Grizzlies jerseys. Love them both. We'll see. It's possible. I don't know where you put it though. Do you put it in Gander? Because you've already got the Newfoundland Growlers in St. John, so you do put it in Gander. There's the question mark. Do you put it in Gander? Probably.
Just give Shannon a bag of potatoes. See, you guys are just confusing all the new people.
No, see, because that's currency.
Like, what in the world?
If you just let me explain the vampire and the potato
1812
currency.
and potatoes? What in the world? Shannon's a weirdo. That's the answer. Shannon's a weirdo. Okay. Who do you think Montreal would try to re-sign from their UFAs? I'm not sure if they want to keep Denault, What are your thoughts?
They want to keep Dano, but not at his asking price. His asking price apparently is above $5 million. I think what the plan is, I think they want to. I think Corey Perry sticks around. Eric Stahl's willing to come back as well. I think they could sign both players. And I think from there, I think there's also some improvement that's going to come from within. I'm really excited to see what Caulfield does next year in a full season.
Will Gunther play only a few games this coming season?
It's possible. Nobody is projected to really be 100% ready right now. Okay, so Cole Sillinger goes to Columbus.
They decorated with NHL hats.
That's another center. So Columbus drafts 2 centers, Sillinger and Johnson. They're winning the draft so far. That's fantastic.
Will the Hawks win another cup while Kane and Taves are on the roster? If not, how soon?
The Hawks, I think, are a ways out. The Hawks have to be a ways out from winning a cup. It could be a while. I mean, I guess anything within 5 years is possible. So the Flames are now on the clock. Wallsted's still out there. Does Calgary take a goaltender in the first round? I know Markstrom has that long-term contract and everything, but the thing is, though, Calgary taking goaltenders early, they don't seem to have a lot of luck with that either. So do you do it again?
Love the Vane Gary theories. Can we get a full Vane Gary video?
I've done Gary Bettman videos.
He has, yeah.
But it has to be kind of off the cuff and just for fun. I've done that.
Are there any defensemen the Canucks should aim for in free agency to further fix their blue line?
I've mentioned Savard. I'll say this: they need a David Savard type. They need somebody who can play that defensive game like he does. There's going to be a number of them, but the asking price is probably going to be pretty high.
Does Wilson try and get another first-round pick and grab Wallstead?
I don't know that he's going to be able to get a first-round pick to get Wallstead. I have a funny feeling he's going to get picked pretty quick here. Buffalo's drafting at 14. I know they've got Luke Conan, but it'd be tough for them not to take Wallstead if he's still there.
Just wanted to send some love, my man. He's
Greatly appreciated.
My man.
Well, I mean, technically,
my man.
If we think about this,
my man.
The reality is
no.
That in the universe as the universe is currently constituted.
Okay, anyways. What year will Gabe Lincoln be drafted, and will it be by the Devils?
See, now there's people playing NHL 21 that'll make Gabe Lincoln. They'll put a big beard on him, and it'll be Abe's twin cousin.
Gary Bettman plus Banicula shirts. Yes, please. I haven't thought of Banicula forever. Okay. Are there any defensemen the Canucks should aim for in free agency? Okay. Oh, good. Okay, let me go back down this way.
Yeah, the Flames are on the clock. We'll see what they take.
Okay. Got that one.
It's a shame the Canucks didn't get Gunther.
I got that one.
I would have been excited if the Canucks got Gunther.
Buffalo should pick Wallstead at 14? Did I do that one? I didn't, did I?
Wallstead, I can't see. But the other thing, too, is you've still got Casa, too. So if they want a goaltender, even if Calgary takes Wallstead, they could turn around and take Casa. Both of those goalies were projected to go in the top 20.
Wait, I want to hear more about Lincoln's murder. Also, is Fleury staying, or is my team, Vegas, ready to make the biggest mistake of their lives?
Fleury's staying. I can't see them getting rid of him.
Did you guys know Abe Lincoln actually invented the choke slam? It's true. Oh, so darn true.
Oh, actually.
No, okay, anyways.
His time as a professional wrestler.
Okay.
That was in, what was that, 1773? That was WWWWWF.
Hello from Australia. If Wallstead or Casa are still there at 23, do you think the Wings draft them?
Casa's likely. I can't see Wallstead being there. Oh, Casa's possible. Yeah, Detroit, if one of those are available, they should definitely draft a goaltender.
Hi from Australia. 2 Australias in a row. I'm 19 years old and I want to move to Vancouver after COVID settles. Good towns, suburbs to live that are on the cheaper side.
Oh, cheaper side.
The further away from Vancouver, the cheaper. So we are, depending on traffic, an hour outside of Vancouver. I really like it here.
Chilliwack's cheaper, but I don't know if it's not really a suburb
Surrey,
of Vancouver.
no, that's far. Unless if you work in Vancouver, you
There
don't
are
wanna live
people
in
who live in Chilliwack that work in Vancouver.
That would be expensive, especially
is.
with gas right now.
And traffic.
Gas is stupid expensive.
Traffic is ridiculous.
Surrey's a lot closer and it's cheaper. Surrey is huge though, like space wise. Langley's cheaper. It's closer than Abbotsford. Langley's really nice. Maple Ridge.
Maple Ridge is gorgeous.
Mission.
Doesn't exist.
The further away you are from Vancouver, the cheaper it is.
My theory is that Mission's a town that doesn't exist because it's too hard to get to it. It's only got one way in and out. I don't think it really exists.
There's not only one way.
I think it's like a Twilight Zone thing. I think
That's
it's just
not true
a fiction, figment of our imagination.
Most towns in this area are really, really pretty, so can't really go wrong there. I'm not a fan of Chilliwack, but we're getting far out there, and so it's different.
I like Chilliwack, but I grew up there, so.
If Bettman's a vampire, does that make Bill Daly his Igor? If so, where is his hump?
Bill Daly is, you know how with vampires they have the ones that'll keep an eye on things during the day to make sure nothing disturbs them while they sleep. That's kind of his job. It's sort of like, you know, the hellhounds in Lost Boys. They talk about that. It's sort of like that, but it's more of a human version of, and so his job is to just make sure that nobody bothers him in his crypt during the day.
Do the Jets go with a forward or a defense this draft?
Best player available. They're at 18, which is 17. But yeah, I would say best player available, and I'm going to guess it'll be a defenseman. I'm going to take a stab at it that it's a defenseman.
Does anyone trade up for Wallstead?
I don't think so. Calgary's got their pick in, so I would not be surprised to see Calgary take a goaltender.
Okay. If Bettman is a vampire, what is Pierre?
Pierre.
Annoying.
Pierre's got this. It's hard to say. You know, Ichabod Crane. It's sort of like an Ichabod Crane kind of thing, like, you know, in the cartoon from when we were kids. Sort of that Ichabod Crane. That's I think that's a direct relation to. Oh, Coronado ends up going there.
Where did we move? Upstairs. This is the not hockey set.
I knew Matthew Coronado wasn't going to be available to Boston. Gosh darn it.
M.A. Fleury to San Jose. When?
I can't see that happening. I can't see Vegas trading him to San Jose. That's in their division and it's their arch rival. That would create so much hassle. Matthew Coronado goes at 12 to Calgary. Well, they say 13th, but there was no 11th pick. Coronado is a good pick. That's a value pick. I was hoping he would fall to Boston, realizing he probably wouldn't. And so he goes at 12 to Calgary.
Video idea. What if the NHL had leagues like the NFL and MLB instead of East and West?
I've talked about that before, that I would actually think it would be great to have 16 team leagues and, you know, that same idea, and then you'd have greater rivalries, but there's no appetite for that in the NHL. And so it's just not going to happen. It's like last year we had the back-to-back games in the same city between teams. They wanted to do that this year, but it's just with 32 teams, it doesn't work.
Do you think they stopped using wood sticks so players couldn't use it as a stake to murder Bettman?
That was one of them. See, so back in 1873, remember when the Vikings attacked?
Oh, Aldergrove, yes, that's another cheaper option that's closer to Vancouver than Abbotsford. Burnaby is my favorite. My family is from Burnaby. It's really expensive.
It is.
Really, really expensive.
I have a friend in Burnaby.
I have family in Burnaby. Richmond's not cheap.
Oh, Richmond's
my gosh.
expensive.
I think that's got to be the most expensive out of all of the.
What about Delta?
Metro. Delta's cheaper, but then you're all the way out in Delta.
It's nice, though.
Probably live on a floodplain.
And the farm. Well, I mean, in a big earthquake, you might be in trouble, but still.
You'll be in the ocean. But,
potentially.
I mean, it's pretty.
Because the ground does liquefy in big earthquakes. So
there's parts
Deltas
here that do too. So okay. If you're out on the flats, if the pump breaks, you're underwater.
Maybe.
You're now in Sumas Lake.
I'm okay with that.
Hi from Australia. Yes, another one. You're popular in Australia today.
Because I said good day, mate, earlier on, so the algorithm went, oh, he's Australian. And so now I'm getting the Australian viewers. So good day, mate.
Kaiser Wilhelm and Tsar Nicholas were twin cousins. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist encouraging Shannon.
Yeah, no, twin cousins are completely a thing. So what happens in the womb?
No. Okay, anyways. Good evening, you both. Appreciate the hard work you put in every day. Let's go, Bruins. Lived in Mission for a bit. I agree, it doesn't exist.
I don't think it's a real place.
For years.
I've said that since before I met her.
Has Shannon ever fought the Ogopogo?
It's a giant sturgeon. So
yes, I think it's a sturgeon. It's a huge sturgeon. That's my theory on Ogopogo. And everybody, non-Canadians, going,
that's nice.
What?
They sent a professional counselor in to talk to Luke Hughes after he got drafted by the Devils. That's nice that they sent a counselor to talk to these kids about the hardships that are awaiting them with these franchises that drafted them.
Okay. Abe Lincoln, legitimate, was a catch can professional wrestler. Go Devils.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I skipped again.
He was great at hitting guys in the head with chairs, too. He was fantastic at that.
Bettman is Mr. Burns and Bill Daly is Smithers.
That works. That relationship absolutely works.
There are more questions about Bettman and Abe Lincoln now than I think hockey. Okay, do you think Vampire Bettman could defeat Gabe Lincoln, or would he need his friend, the Master of Knowledge, Pierre McGuire? Oh my gosh, the Master of Knowledge.
See, okay, so...
Okay, anyways.
But Pierre
Sharks
would probably be...
Train. Okay, psyched for Eklund. Any chance Sharks could trade up for Casa, and what would it cost?
I don't think the asking prices are that high for the draft picks now, but I think that teams are pretty set in terms of who they're going to pick and when. Like right now, Buffalo's pick is in. I think the teams that are in that 15 through 20 spot now are pretty set in who they're going to take. And so it would have been easier to make those picks before the draft, but you never know what's going to happen during it.
Wait, Shannon has a friend? Okay.
Why do you find that so funny?
Because it is. How is Surrey? Surrey is huge. It's a large section of land, so it really depends on what part of Surrey.
In terms of actual square kilometers, is bigger than Vancouver.
Yeah, it is. Surrey is huge, so it encompasses a lot of field lands, a lot of fantastic berries. Surrey is really fun to go shopping or restaurants. There are certain areas that aren't as safe.
Barry McIntyre.
Like I wouldn't live anywhere near Wally, but Surrey's not too bad. I know a lot of people don't like Wally.
There's Barry Jenkins. There's some great berries there. You're right.
Anyways, okay.
Barry Williams. You know Barry Williams. He's a great berry too. There's so many great berries in Surrey.
Would you rather have Cam Neely or Austin Matthews?
In their prime, I'm going to go with Cam Neely. Stanley Cup Finals in 1988, 1990, and one of the best power forwards I ever saw. I would go with Cam Neely.
Okay.
It's a completely not objective opinion as well.
Does Yvonne speak French? Yes, I took a lot of French in school. No. Shannon, okay. Both of us speak enough French that Shannon likes to use this pretend French. I still know what he's saying, and I know how wrong he is.
Love finesse to you as well.
Okay. Who does Holden get traded for? Wait, let him finish. More about vampires, please. See, then the whole chat ends up being about vampires, and then we have new people coming in, and aren't we talking about hockey here? What are we talking about? Dog door? What?
Wow, you totally didn't get that.
Okay.
But hey, nobody's perfect.
Did you answer that? Did you answer the Holden get traded for? Yeah.
I don't know that Holden's getting traded. We'll see.
What would the Devils have to give up for Timo?
For Timo Meier? I don't know how much it's going to take. Meier's going to be expensive at the end of his contract. Isaac Rosen goes to Buffalo next. Now, which pick was that?
What? Why is there a
magnet? That's the
right
pick from...
I'm moving this magnet.
I'm totally drawing a blank on this. All right. Well, I'm just going to rate Buffalo on here.
Bunnies.
Oh, from Philly. That's right. There's Philly right there, and Buffalo, and they take Isaac Rosen.
Okay.
Wow.
As a Flyers fan, I want to hate the Ristolainen trade, but it's going to be like the Kevin Hayes deal. Kevin Hayes at $7 million would be awful on every team, but with the Flyers, it just works. That's how I feel with Risto.
And that's the thing. You know, some contracts work better for one team than another.
Okay, it's skipping again. Thoughts on Mctavish? Could he be NHL ready this season? Also, it's cracking me up watching my fellow Ducks fans already decide it was a bad pick. It's generally how that works.
This year's draft, 3 through 10, could have gone in any order. And Bob McKenzie said that yesterday. He said it today, that 3 through 10 could go in any order. And different scouts and different general managers had different opinions on who should go where. McTavish is a guy who jumped up in the standings throughout the year in terms of where he was going to go in the draft. And clearly they're sold on him. So we'll see. But he is supposed to be a very good forward. And I had him going at 10. But again, he could go anywhere.
Well, somebody agrees with me. Surrey is great for food. Yes, they definitely are. I mean, Abbotsford has fantastic Indian restaurants, but so does Surrey. Surrey has like everything.
Yeah, but we have a McDonald's too, though Surrey doesn't have that.
They don't have one. They've got like 20.
Well, not a good one.
Whatever.
We have the good one out here.
Okay.
Ours serves
Anyways.
pizza.
You know, if ours actually sold pizza, everybody would come to it because everybody wants to make pizza back. Will the Jets actually get a top defenseman in free agency this year? If so, who should they target? Love the channel.
Top defenseman. I mean, you know, if you had the money to sign Dougie Hamilton and you could get him into Winnipeg, Hamilton on that blue line with that dynamic forward group would be absolutely perfect. They definitely need that offensive infusion of talent. Like, I know Morrissey does his best, but he's more of a two-way guy. Hamilton would be a perfect pickup. I just don't know that they have the money to make it work.
Yeah, I do really wish she'd stop interrupting his Bettman, his vampire, Gabe Lincoln stuff. It's funny. What do you have against funny, Vaughn? I am his wife. So that's my job. My job is to ruin all fun for him.
She enjoyed this until, let's see, it was 1977.
No, anyways, he totally would go off, and he would do this the entire live stream. So
remember, we were in the Arctic.
Somebody keep him.
We were in the Arctic.
Contract.
It was you and Harrison Ford.
What wrestlers did you like growing up? Did you watch wrestling or hockey first? Go Devils.
Oh, I definitely watched hockey before wrestling. I got into wrestling in the early 80s. I liked watching All-Star Wrestling. We had WWF as well. I watched NWA. I used to stay up late on Saturday nights to watch NWA, which became WCW. I watched Stampede. I saw Stampede live. I saw All-Star Wrestling live twice. Yeah, my favorite wrestler growing up, I loved Roddy Piper. I hated Hulk Hogan with a passion.
I was going to say Hulk Hogan.
I hated Hogan. Even as a little kid, I hated Hogan so much. Yeah, there was a lot of players that are a lot of wrestlers that I like. Bret Hart would be my all-time favorite, though. So the Red Wings have traded for the number 15 pick. Looks like Dallas has traded the pick to Detroit.
Jury epic fail. I'm shocked the Rangers have a pick. Who is the best available center, or would you take someone else?
Best available center. There's a number of players who've dropped to this point. I mean, if they wanted, you could always go crazy and pick up a goaltender. Although I think Detroit, it is Detroit that's picking up this draft pick from Dallas. They're probably taking Wallstead. As
a lifetime Kraken fan, who do you think will grab in free agency? Also, who do you got in Hell in a Cell match? Bettman or Gabe Lincoln?
Gabe. I think Gabe would win that. In free agency, they're going to circle back on guys they were talking to. They did talk to Hamilton. They did talk to Landeskog. They're going to be able to offer these guys more money than pretty much everybody else. They're going to look to make a major splash in free agency.
Worst Barry Allen. Trade Flash for Arrow.
Oh, Barry just... What's with they had a lightsaber fight at the end of the season finale. It was a lightsaber fight.
How much did they have to pay to be able to do that?
Well, they're lightning bolts, lightsabers.
Oh, okay.
But then the question is being asked, how do they hold the lightning bolt without burning themselves? There was no hilt on it. It was just a lightning bolt.
Thinking about it too much. Okay.
And Barry Allen never showed he could make a lightning bolt sword until all of a sudden his enemy did. And they, I could do that.
I could do that
How?
too.
We didn't establish you could do this, Barry Allen.
Most realistic of the Kuzi scenarios?
Kuznetsov, I think he probably gets traded in the offseason. I think it'll probably be money in and money out. I don't know where he goes, but I would be kind of surprised if he's still in Washington in the fall. So Detroit takes that pick from Dallas.
We need Shannon Van Helsing versus Vampire Bettman episode.
So it's the 15th pick from Detroit in exchange for, or the 15th pick from Dallas in exchange for the 23rd pick from Detroit, as well as number 48 and number 138. That's how you get your prospects built up. Dallas gets three draft picks for the price of one. I like it. It.
Actually, alternative made-up French is the language of Bettman Vampire Conspiracy Inner Circle. Gabe, cracking that language saved Abe's life.
Oui. Mais oui.
Puddles
Pomme de route.
literally everywhere in Delta. See, that's what I said.
Pomme de route. Il pleut.
No, it's not.
No, it's
As
not
a
wet.
I already said that. Hope you aren't upset about the Quinta Devils joke. Ha ha. We're a bad team, but excited. Let us have this Canucks fan. Keep up the amazing work, both of you.
And it's going to be tempting at some point for all three brothers to play together. Now that two of them are on the same team, that'd be entertaining to see all three of them together. I kind of wanted to see Quinn and Luke on the same team.
Coquitlam is a mag. Coquitlam's beautiful. I really like Coquitlam. Thoughts on AEW?
I prefer AEW to WWE. Personally, I think it's a better product. I have an easier time watching the wrestling on AEW. It's built for wrestling fans. WWE's built for people who want to watch all the entertainment and some of the silly stuff.
Shannon's thoughts on Brant Clark going 8th overall to the LA Kings. Should LA have traded the 8th pick?
Brant Clark is a phenomenal defenseman who managed to go overseas and get that development some of the other prospects didn't. I think he's going to be looking like a steal at number 8. And LA could use another really top-notch prospect on the blue line.
Could you see the Canes getting Gibson or waiting?
I don't know that Gibson's available right now. Anaheim clearly would also want a pretty high price for Gibson, so I don't think that's happening yet. I think that would be decided by Gibson.
Will the Wild pick Ratty or no?
I would be surprised if Ratu gets beyond him. Hey, Fabian Lysell hasn't been taken. Why didn't Dallas take Fabian? I wanted Lysell to go to Jerks.
Which of the Cracks pick who were on camera don't make it to their opening day roster?
Oh, that's a tough call. I mean, if they get a great trade offer for Eberle, maybe Eberle gets traded. But yeah, I think if they were wearing a Kraken jersey and they were there, I think they're going to be on the opening night roster.
Okay. Would you do a Hughes line just for the fun of it?
Well, the fact that two of them are defensemen make it kind of hard to put them out there as a line, but for a shift.
Who did the Wings give up?
It was just 3 draft picks for 1 draft pick. So the Wings have made their selection, and the Wings at 15 take Sebastian Casa. So, like I said, 4 out of the 10 scouts took Casa ahead of Wallstead, so he goes first. Sebastian Casa is drafted by the Detroit Red Wings. So Detroit makes that pick, acquired from the Dallas Stars, who don't need a goaltender.
Watch Carolina pick up both Eric and Mark.
They'll probably talk about it. It's possible. There's still a door open, too, for Mark to go back to Detroit. I was reading that today.
Hey, Shannon, I just joined. Any picks surprise you so far?
The biggest surprise is for me, Mason Mctavish at 3, which doesn't make it a bad pick, but
I'm not holding
he goes
it.
at 3. Kent Johnson at 5 is a bit of a surprise going that early. Eklund being available at 7 is kind of a surprise.
Okay, go that way.
Gunther dropping down to 9th was a bit of a surprise, so Arizona did well there. Coronado at 12, a little bit high. And the fact that we have not seen Wallstead get drafted yet does surprise me. Now the Rangers are on the clock.
Do you watch hockey at the Summer Olympics?
Like,
Do you do the lawn hockey?
Yeah. And I
I
have
don't think
watched
I've ever
it.
watched it.
I have watched it. I didn't get to see anything today at the Olympics. I know they had the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, that was all the sports channels that weren't doing this were doing Olympics.
Yeah.
He's not a rat. Okay, Adelaide. I'm not. No. Okay. You need to put that bunny, Adelaide. Not right this moment, please. Okay. When the Penguins dismantle their team, who will go first?
Letang. Letang would probably be the one to go first. I don't think Malkin and Crosby go anywhere. I think they're guaranteed to finish their careers as Penguins.
Who should the Jets draft at 18?
Best player available. It'll probably end up being a defenseman, I would think. But you go with the best player available.
If you have drained veggies at the house, Vampire Bunny Vanilla. No, we don't. We have not had that problem.
He threatens to bite
What's your
everyone.
opinion on Tyler? Is that Boucher at 10? Feel like we should have traded down for him.
That's a reach. I'm not going to lie, that's a bit of a reach. I'm surprised that he ended up going that high. I think they probably could have got him later. But as has been discussed in previous drafts, GMs just feel like it's just easier to take the guy you want and rather than trade down. Dallas traded down, but other teams don't bother.
Were there any more than 2 brothers on a team at the same time? I'm thinking of maybe a couple suitors.
So yeah, the Sutters. There were times I want to say Chicago with the Sutters. I'm pretty sure, and I don't think the Islanders had more than 2 at a time, but I think Chicago did. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's been done before.
Oh, why are we in a different room? So everybody's not
the
complaining
Stastnys.
while I'm in front of the
Stastnys.
board the whole time.
Yeah, this way it's a much bigger room. It's not such a contracted spot, so I'm able to stand off to the side so you can see the board, and we're still able to talk and all that.
Oh, the Stahl brothers. The CDs were cousins. Yeah,
They're twin
identical cousins.
Yeah, you can have identical cousins.
Yeah.
See how that works is, okay, so you're in the womb, right?
No, okay.
So you know how the fallopian things work, right? You know how those work, right?
Fallopian things.
Yeah,
I do actually know how in that. Okay, anyways.
So they sort of hang there.
Easier for us to see the TV in this room. Yes, I can actually see it. Normally, I can't see the TV at all.
Right.
But the TV is right there.
So for the 2nd through 7th round tomorrow, we will be doing this same.
Can you see the raccoon? We don't have a raccoon. Okay. Hold on. Let's jump in. Hello from Nanaimo. Thanks for all your hard work you do on this channel. Ready for another decade of the Canucks mediocrity?
I'm always ready for that.
Reddit is fleecing Drury for Booch to St. Louis trade. Do you see it as that bad? And how do you see Buchnevich fitting into the Blues? And do you see him as a better or worse replacement for Schwartz?
He's going to be better offensively than what Schwartz was, especially during the regular season. The competitiveness from Schwartz in the playoffs will be missed. I honestly think it was a pretty decent trade for both. I do think St. Louis won the trade, but I don't think it's going to end up being as lopsided as people think.
Washington gets center Ryan Johansson, left wing Rocco Grimaldi. Nashville gets center Kuznetsov, who says no.
Washington would say no to that because Johansson at that cap hit, that'd be a no. There's a reason that Seattle passed on bad contracts and Nashville wasn't able to get rid of a bad one.
Do the Hanson brothers count?
The Hanson brothers are definitely identical cousins. I'll be right back.
This is some kind of red-green sketch. We're not anywhere near that funny. Red-green's great.
Neither Steve, though.
Red-green's great.
I get it.
All right. Well, Shannon's not here, so I'm not asking all the hockey questions because you guys wouldn't like my answers. Can I have a bunny? No, I'll hold a bunny. Here, I'll dandelion. Come here, sweetie. Come here, baby. Here, can see a bunny. How's that?
Both.
Okay, thank you. You can never have, yes. If women don't find you handsome, at least they find you handy. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. The Canadians are only Canada's team when they're the only ones in the playoff. Oh, Adelaide. Oh, who's your favorite pet? That's a rough one. She does kind of love the bunnies.
Yes.
She does really love bunnies, but I think that's kind of tricky to pick a very favorite. I'm sure you do have a topic in mind, Josh. You always do. The cats don't care about the rabbits. They're quite indifferent.
It's definitely Pickle.
The bunnies will jump over. They'll hop over to the cats to check them out, and sometimes that kind of startles the cats. But other than that, they really don't care. Spaghetti or lasagna?
Lasagna.
If I have to make it, spaghetti, because lasagna takes like 3 times as long. But lasagna is great because cheese.
Oh, the Rangers selected Brendan Othman. I did a video on him.
Do the Avs need another goalie, or do you see Francois, or is it Johansson being able to fill the holes?
Oh, Johansson won't be able to fill
Yeah,
that. No, they definitely need another goaltender. So St. Louis is now on the clock. You know, if I'm St. Louis, I'd take Wallstead. I know they just re-signed Binnington, but I would take Wallstead.
Protect the bunnies. Everything needs bunnies. I know we are very careful with our bunnies. They are very spoiled bunnies, but yes, we are very careful with them. Oh, the bunnies' names. This is Dandelion, and the brown one is Pickle. They're on the cat Instagram. The THG Cats on Instagram frequently has bunny pictures because they're adorable.
Yes.
Could the Pens trade Letang for big name player?
At this point in time with Letang, I mean, he's on the back 9 of his career. And with his contract, too, I don't know how movable he'd be. And then you'd have a large hole on the back end if you weren't trading for another defenseman. I can't see Letang being on the market anytime soon, unless he wanted to move and if Pittsburgh actually said, well, we need to do some kind of a rebuild or retool.
Adelaide has the cutest headphones ever and sweet bunnies with huge hind feet. They do have huge feet, and she really likes her headphones as well. Hey. Okay.
Headphones used to have 2 ears like a cat, but one of them broke.
6 jerseys in my collection. Let's see. There we go. Shannon, I think I'm catching up to you.
Pretty much, yeah. I've got, what, 10?
Yeah.
I think I've got 10.
Yeah, that's it. Ever have an orange kitty? I did. Growing up, my cat was orange.
I never had an orange cat.
I did, and she was so sweet.
Oh, I had
and
a
her name
Siamese.
was Leaf.
I had a Siamese. I had a American short hair, like a tabby.
I had a tabby once too.
And then
Azrael. Okay, let's see. I know it's skipping around.
And then I had Patches.
What's the plan when Ottawa wins the cup next season?
Well, I mean, monkeys are definitely going to be flying at that point. Pigs, elephants. I would think we'd be more concerned with the pigs flying through the sky than Ottawa winning the Stanley Cup.
Oh, Adelaide, there's another Adelaide question. Which pet causes the most shenanigans? Who causes the most trouble?
Oh, it's definitely one of the fluff balls.
See, I would think easy answer, Shadow. How much trouble does Shadow cause?
Woke us up. At
How
4:30
many
in the
times
morning.
do I get woke up in the middle of the night because Shadow is picking on the girls? He's
That was
definitely the
4:30
big
in the
brother.
morning this
Oh
morning.
my gosh.
I didn't
He's
get back to
such a
sleep
brat.
either.
Thoughts on the Pens Pedersen Zucker trade rumor? Love from Sweden.
I don't think. I mean, it's possible they make a trade, but they just lost McCann. They just lost Tanev. They have to replenish their rankings. I'd honestly be kind of surprised if they trade anybody else out, unless they're getting a great return.
Does Adelaide have jerseys too?
Of course.
And she likes to put on jerseys depending on who is on the TV. So usually whatever game I'm watching, she'll put on a jersey for one of those teams. Do the Oilers try and trade 19th pick for a now player?
I don't think there's going to be enough interest in a pick that low that you're going to get a guy who jumps into the lineup.
Shannon
plays a
causes the
significant
most
role.
trouble. Agreed.
Zachary Balduke goes 16th or 7th. They call it 17th pick, but it's just because the 11th didn't happen. So I'm putting 16 on the board. Balduke goes to St. Louis. So again, we've still got a goaltender who is in free fall, and now Winnipeg's on the clock. Maybe Winnipeg should take the goaltender.
Who will the Oiler tandem in net to start the year?
Well, they just re-signed Smith, so unless they find a taker for Koskinen, it's going to be Smith and Koskinen again. So, which surprises me, kind of, but that's the plan.
Cats are jerks, but at least they're cute jerks. That's what I say about Shannon.
I don't think cats are jerks at all.
He hides behind corners just to smack the girls as they walk by. He does. Does Florida finally win a round next season? Okay, that's enough, sweetie.
Florida should. I mean, I think they would have this year anyways, if not for the fact they played Tampa. I think they would have knocked out almost anybody else, but you get Tampa in the first round.
Oh, Edvinson and Cosa, Shannon. Told you, buddy. Did call it. How many name jerseys do you have, Shannon? Oh, my gosh.
Name jerseys? A lot.
Lots.
A lot. It's a ton.
No.
I'm planning on going through that.
I think she's getting hungry, sweetie. Want to take them
they
outside?
gotta go outside.
Here, I'll set her down. You go take them outside one at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
They also have to go to the bathroom. They don't like going to the
Could
bathroom.
a team
here.
of the most hated player in the NHL win the Stanley? Could a player of the most hated Could a
Most
team
players.
of the most hated player in the NHL
Yes.
win
Because
Stanley
usually
Cup?
players
I don't
are
know.
hated. They're usually guys who are very competitive. And yeah, they're usually guys who win as well.
Okay, where was I? Do Canucks get a boost with their recent trades?
They should for this coming season. This coming season should be fine. It's the years after that I'm concerned with.
How is the War of 1812 causing this draft 2 matrix and allow Atlanta to win the cup?
Okay.
Love the content.
So
No.
how Atlanta ends up winning a
no,
Stanley
okay.
Cup coming out of this draft is simple.
Okay.
So if you look at the board,
Thoughts
if you
on
look beyond
the
the board,
future of this Red Wing blue line with this pick.
it's a stud blue line. It's a fantastic blue line that Yzerman's putting together. Edvinson, there were lists that had Edvinson at 2nd. So the fact that they get him at 6th is a steal. And I think Detroit's just doing a very good job of putting together a team that should be very competitive soon. He is not tanking for the number 1 draft pick next year.
Do you like dogs or have you had any dogs?
I had dogs growing up.
Who doesn't like dogs?
We always had 1 dog and 1 cat growing up.
Dogs are great.
So,
we
yeah,
had
I've
2
had-
dogs and 1 cat.
Yeah.
Dogs are great. We just don't have the house or the time for a dog, so it wouldn't be fair to the dog.
Right.
Okay.
Or to the cats.
Well, yes, the cats
Depending on
would
the
hate
dog,
the poor
the
dog,
personality could really be a
but
stressor for the cats.
that would be really
Take her outside.
difficult in this house. Do you think the Pens are in big trouble regarding prospects? One Sid and once Sid and Gino retire in a few years, I will be worried. Much love from Australia. Another Australian.
Yes. Pittsburgh's lack of prospects, which is what happens with success, right? That's going to be a problem for them as soon as, this coming season or next season too. Like it's going to be a problem. Okay, so they took an American.
It's that same 4th of July
Chaz
party.
Lucius. So Chaz Lucius, the center.
That's the same 4th of July party.
I had Chaz Lucius going like 12th in mine or 11th in mine. So, yeah, that's a pretty good pick for them. Center.
Why wasn't there an 11th pick?
Because Arizona lost that because of John Chayka scouting guys when he wasn't allowed to. And so they forfeited their first-round draft pick. Thus, they had to trade to get back into the first round with Vancouver.
King George V and Tsar Nicholas II were identical cousins. No joke.
There's tons of identical cousins. There's you and your cousin, Maisie. Your cousin Maisie.
Who? What cousin?
Maisie. She's even got the purple hair you have because that's that genetic thing that you guys have in common.
Anyways,
Don't you remember?
What shutdown defenseman should the Nucks chase?
I keep mentioning David Savard. If he's available, they'll take a look at him because they don't really have that on their roster. Levy's going to be a good, solid defensive defenseman, I think. But, yeah, they definitely need another. So, Larson would have been perfect if he'd actually gone to market, but it didn't happen.
Who is more hated, Marchand or Billy Smith?
Marchand. I think Marchand. Billy Smith in his time, there was still a lot of respect for Billy Smith. And while, he was definitely rough with guys who were around the net, there was sort of established rules as to what you could or couldn't get away with Billy Smith. With Marchand early in his career, and up until a few years ago, he was just ridiculous. So, I would say Marchand would be the more hated of the two.
Other than the rumored Hyman trade, do the Leafs make any other moves this offseason?
It doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of action from the Leafs. Adding McCann so that they wouldn't lose Kerfoot seems to be the big move. And it may just be they get a different goaltender to pair with Campbell, and they try again with much the same lineup as last year.
At this moment, do you think Leroux might slip to the Habs?
That would be great, and it's possible because this draft is very unpredictable. Nashville's up next.
The Niedermeyer brothers played together on the 2006 Anaheim Ducks Stanley Cup team.
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Rob and Scott. And Rob was seen as a failure out of his draft, too, because he never reached that offensive upside that was expected of him, but he got a cup ring.
Completely random question. Who is the better cook, Shannon or Yvonne? Hockey-related question. Do you know anything about Trevor Wong in this draft?
Not much about Trevor Wong. She is the better cook. I used to cook all the time, and I think I kind of wore myself out doing it. I'm just too old. I don't feel like it.
That's how cooking works.
No, I'm kind of done.
Old.
I'm just kind of done. Like, all right, that's enough of the cooking. I'm done. I used to cook every day, and then I just decided that's enough. That's enough.
Kids don't need to eat anymore.
No, you just
fend
get
for yourself.
You just get them some
There's
fast food, or
bananas.
You throw like frozen stuff at them and say, "Here, you can make this."
Oh my goodness! Okay,
if you like pizza pops, you're in luck. Yay, pizza pops.
Okay, TG, have you told Adelaide the War of 1812 prevents Leafs from winning another playoff round again and tell Adelaide to charge TEG for appearance pay?
He's really useless, that TEG. I'm really kind of tired of him leeching off you like that. He needs to start making more videos.
They were just repeating
useless.
one of Shannon's silly stories.
He's kind of useless.
He does tell his silly stories to Adelaide all the time.
Just because she's learning to be a ninja.
Frequently. So she has to walk through the set to get to her room, and I frequently hear the, "No! No!"
I I try
Then
to
the
tell her
mom-
ninja secrets. There's ninja secrets
all
that are
the
there.
time.
And you
What?
have to be able
Okay.
to teach the ninja stuff. As
In-
well as it's always time for bed.
Yes. In your opinion, who's the best goalie available in this draft, and what is the chances the Oilers will pick up any goalies this round or the draft overall? Recent subscriber, but loving the content.
So Casa goes to Detroit, and there were definitely some scouts that felt Casa was the better of the two goalies. I'm kind of surprised at how far Wallsted's fallen, and if he ends up being taken by Edmonton, that'll be an absolute steal for the Oilers. They're up next after Nashville. I don't think Nashville's going to take a goalie because they took one last year. So since they're happy with their goaltender, Askarov, then I would not be surprised. I'm still kind of shocked that Wallsted's fallen as far as he has.
Can Shannon tell them to start drafting faster? But then how would they fit all the commercials in?
It is ridiculous.
It's every time, though. This happens every single time.
But tomorrow, they're fast.
Yes,
It's
they're
just-
really fast
it's
tomorrow.
just-
And you're like, oh my gosh, they just announced 3
They
in a row.
fly. Because, again, it's the NHL that makes it last this long, not the general managers.
New York Rangers Twitter just melted down after not trading 15 for Jack. Ooh, boy. I think they did the right thing here. No reason to throw it all away for that contract. I think they'll make a splash in... Oh, I'm not.
Free agents.
There we go.
I honestly think from Othman, and I did a video on Othman. Othman, I think, is a good pick. So maybe reference to my video on Othman, because I did a video on him, and I think he's going to be a decent pick for them.
What kind of team can you field using only active first overall picks?
Not one that's going to stay under the salary cap. That would be a pretty good team, though.
Pizza Pops are gross. So
Pizza Pops are fantastic.
That's not
Pizza
a thing.
Pockets are gross. I don't know why. But
Pizza Pockets
they're nasty.
Ugh.
They're nasty.
I've tried them a few times, thinking, "Oh, that sounds good." They never are.
This stream brought to you by McCain. No.
Yeah.
Pizza Pockets are
Blech.
not.
No,
Great.
I don't like Pizza Pops. Okay. Will Seattle hold on to Donskoy for the 21-22 season? And how about the pronunciation at the live draft?
That's fine. I don't really worry about the pronunciation side of it. Other people get madder than I do.
Speaking of pronunciation, right?
I think they'll hold on to Donskoy because they need guys that can score goals. And unless they pick up other guys that can score goals, I think Jonas stays on the team.
Do you think Ado is that an I? Aguchi will be selected at all during the draft?
I'm trying to think of what that's. No, just skip that.
I love your videos. Big Bolts fan. Who gets Wolstead?
He has to be coming up. Like, I can't see him slipping past 20, and if he does, maybe I should say which team. I can't see him sliding past the Oilers, and if he did, maybe Minnesota, but because I don't see Boston taking a goalie in the first round.
What are your thoughts on the Cleveland Guardians?
I think the name change is fine. Cleveland had to change their baseball team name. We know this. So I think it's fine. I think it was a little bit lazy because they didn't want to change the font, and they didn't want to change many of the letters. They wanted to keep the letters as close as possible. But it's probably better than Spiders, which was the other name that was out there. So the guy that runs the Cleveland Spiders Twitter account probably had a meltdown today, but it's okay. I think Guardians will be fine. There are a lot of dumb names for sports teams. Guardians isn't the worst of them.
Can the Pens make a trade for Holtby?
I don't think they will. I honestly don't think Holtby has much value. He had a poor season in Vancouver after having a poor season in Washington. I don't see him having a lot of value.
Defense or forward? Looks like Jets get another Minnesotan.
Yeah, they like U.S.-born players. They do.
Oh, somebody's asking about the 11th pick again.
Svechkov. The 11th pick. That's this one here, Cylinder. Okay, so Fedor Svechkov. Is that the jersey I wore for that video? Was it Nashville I saw as being the best pick for him? The best place for him? He's a center, isn't he? I'm going to write down that he's a center, and people can lose their minds if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he's a center. Yeah, he's a center. So Edmonton's up next. They're on the clock.
Where do you think Ryan Suter ends up?
Islanders. I think the Islanders make a play for both Parise and Suter. I think if they're able to both go to the same team, I think they will. Somebody's
very excited about the Oilers getting a goalie.
If they get the goalie. Remember, I keep thinking that Wallsted's going to go, and he's not going. This is where I need Brad from Hockey Prospect to explain to me why he's not going yet.
Right.
So, Brad Allen, if you're watching, why isn't Wallsted going yet? Email me.
Well, I don't have a favorite team. What should I do? We actually get this question a lot about how do you pick a favorite team when you're new to it.
And I think you just go by your favorite players.
There are so many ways you can pick a team. You can pick a team based on location. You could pick it if you have a favorite player name, a favorite logo. When I was little, it was always who had the coolest goalie helmets.
So
who has colors you
like underdogs.
Which jersey you would much rather wear.
Yep.
There's really so many things that you can go off of. Seattle being a new team this year, that's always a fun one. So then you'd be following that team right
Seattle's
from the get-go.
A lot of fans.
So, yeah, that's always fun.
So Fedor Svechkov. Svechkov is an elite defensive forward. That's a good pick for Nashville. That's a solid pick.
And you don't have to just stick to one team either. Lots of people have more than one favorite team. Hey, Flames fan living in Victoria. It's expensive on the island too. Living the BC dream ain't cheap. Any thoughts on the Coronado pick? Is he close?
He's not supposed to be close. This year's draft is a little bit longer out than others. There won't be as many that are NHL ready. But I really like the kid. He's got a lot of good scouting reports. I kind of hoped he would slide to Boston. He clearly didn't. I think he's low-key a pretty good pick.
Yeah, other people saying how they pick the teams. Yep, lots of ways to pick a team.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was
I chose Canucks because
Vancouver's local. Vancouver's local, so that's the team you're born into liking.
Yeah.
Boston was that they had Cam Neely, they had Andy Moog. I liked Ray Bourque, so it was that I went for the players, and my dad's favorite team was Montreal, so that helped. And my North Stars, that was the first year I started watching hockey. They went to the Stanley Cup final, and there was a player who was who I met from the Minnesota North Stars locally that signed a pennant for me when I was like a little kid. So that made me a huge North Stars fan if I wasn't already.
My wife now goes for Vegas because their jerseys are sparkly. Vegas has really fun jerseys.
Vegas does have fun jerseys.
They really do. I really like all of their jerseys. They're all fun.
Why is Edmonton still on the clock? Like, just make the pick. You guys should be taking a goalie.
You already know who you're picking.
You guys should be taking a goalie.
What free agents should Seattle be targeting this year?
They can go for a big fish. They can go for one really big name player, and they could technically bring in 2 or 3 other guys at like $3 to $4 million a year contracts, and still have cap space left over. That's why I look at their expansion roster and I go, yeah, because honestly, there's a lot of room there to add with the cap space they have, and it's a decent free agent market because teams don't have cap space.
Okay.
That one.
Gucci, the Japan-born prodigy that Pavel Barber brought during a few videos on his channel. He's highly skilled but very small-framed.
Small framed will knock him down in the draft. I would say if he gets drafted at all, it'll be a late round.
Do you think Weber will ever play again?
Bergevin says it's highly unlikely.
The Vegas gold helmets are hideous. Agreed.
The Vegas gold helmets belong in the gold jerseys. What is the deal with that? Well, I don't understand why they didn't put them with the gold jerseys.
I mean, unless they want to blind the other team, which, the worst team.
They just look ridiculous with the gray jerseys.
Yep.
The other team, like I think it was Minnesota they played against the first game they wore. Minnesota should have gone out on the ice and gone, we're not starting the game until you guys put on regular helmets. You look ridiculous. We're not doing it. Where's Mike Keenan when you need him?
If it came out that Montreal lied about the injury and Price went along worth it to avoid losing him, what should be done?
Nothing.
But they
didn't lie about it. They didn't lie about it. It's just now they're saying that it's not as bad as what was being reported. So, it's fine. All right, so Edmonton has traded that pick now to Minnesota. So Minnesota takes that pick.
And somebody else, should the NHL investigate to see if Montreal lied about Price being injury? No,
because
he had surgery.
The Seattle Kraken had access to his medical records for those few days there after he was exposed. They knew what the deal was, and they just decided to pass on him. $10.5 million is a lot of money, too. So they just decided it wasn't worth it for them. So Minnesota gets the number 20 pick. The Oilers get number 22. So they trade down 2 spots, and they pick up a 3rd-round pick. So Minnesota likes somebody on the board, and they pick up a pick here. We'll see who they take. They might take the goalie.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. They could definitely
They might take Wallstead because Kakanen's good, but Wallstead is a much better goaltender for the long term.
As a Hawks fan, kind of turned off and ready to find a new team because of their scandal. We've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Thinking Blues since I live here now, or Winnipeg. Why not both? We have actually heard that a lot. Yeah, we have heard that a lot.
The scandal, once we know exactly what's going on with that, that's gonna be pretty major. From just from what we're seeing from the court documents, it could be a lot of fallout. But it's not just going to hit Chicago. The people who are behind all this or knew about it back in 2010 are scattered around the league. They're in journalism. They're all over. So this isn't just going to hit Chicago. This is going to hit a number of teams.
Do you think Billy G makes a move on Reinhart over Eichel?
I would, if I was a GM, I would take a shot at Reinhart first because it won't cost you an arm and a leg, and you might get a player who's just as effective points wise. I think Eichel's the better overall player, though.
Yeah, people are, what? Why did they trade? Would Rutherford make more moves than Hextall?
Yes, but I don't think that's necessarily the good thing. Sometimes making more moves can be, I'm not going to say a drawback, but it can be an issue because sometimes you're too quick to flip somebody that you just got, kind of thing. So yeah,
the Wild would trade up because there's somebody they want.
Yeah, they wanted somebody who's available. The Oilers trade down because they feel the player they're looking for is still going to be there, and so they'll trade down, and they get an extra draft pick out of it.
NHL names games in London. Have the Prince of Wales or Prince William drop the puck, increase fan base. Maybe play some games in Scotland too.
They played games in England. I'm trying to remember how long ago that was, but I know they've played games in the UK before. I just don't remember which ones they were, and I want to say it was like in the early mid-90s when they were playing games overseas more.
Are you going to a Canucks versus Kraken game in Seattle's new arena?
Well, we need to go across the border, so
right. I would think if we go
mark.
to a Seattle game, it wouldn't be a Canucks game.
No,
just because that's kind of fun, being able to see a team that you don't always see as often,
right.
and those tickets are going to sell out so quick and be so expensive just because it's like a 3-hour drive. So I would think we'd pick a different team just because that's fun. It is fun to see other teams sometimes.
Yes.
Do you think the Kraken have a good chance to get Landeskog or Hall or Hyman? Which would you take?
Hall just re-signed with Boston today. Hyman has an agreement with the Oilers that either he gets traded from Toronto and signs it now, or he signs it as a UFA on Wednesday. Landeskog obviously then is the only one left of the 3. Francis said they talked to him and they are willing to circle back. So Landeskog would obviously be the most likely.
Should come back to Vegas soon. The border's closed as much as we would love to. Well, no, I really wouldn't right now. But
fingers crossed,
the border's closed. We can't go anywhere in the States.
We've got a trip planned in December, so we're hoping.
With a lot of the Eichel trade partners having drafted already, LA, Anaheim, Rangers, Columbus, Minnesota with the trade up. Where does he go now? Montreal?
Eichel's not getting traded today. Unless it's for something that's not draft pick related. And next year's draft picks are more valuable than this year's. So Eichel may very well get traded. I could see it tomorrow, and I could see it at any time during the summer. If they move him, it could be at any point.
I became a Devils fan to tick off my family who are all fair weather Flyers fans. Go Devils.
That would do it. That would definitely do it.
What do you think the Isles? What do you think the Isles' plan is now with cap space they have cleared?
Pick up a couple of veterans is the most likely scenario, and then just add to their depth and try to make up for the loss of Everly.
Thoughts on Vancouver's affiliate in Abbotsford? Yay! That's
Yeah,
fun.
we're
We
signed
think that's
up,
awesome.
so that'll be fun. There's Jesper Wallstead going. So Minnesota takes the goaltender.
Thought they would. Okay. What are the best options in free agency for Montreal to address their losses? Weber, Denault, etc.
Yeah, Montreal's going to be interesting to watch in free agency because they don't have. I mean, they have the cap space. I do wonder because there's talk about how many free agents may not want to play in Canada necessarily. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it. The good news is they've got a lot of young guys coming up, like Romanov, Caulfield. I think they can still from within manage to maintain things. So Boston's next on the board. So the Oilers traded the pick that would have been Wallstead. If I was the Oilers, I would have just drafted Wallstead. I'm kind of surprised the Oilers didn't want a goaltender. But for Minnesota, that's a home run. That's a home run. Jesper Wallstead.
2007-2008 season opener. Ducks Kings in London. There you go. Also Blues and Flyers recent moves. Also, how much do you hate your new rivals?
Oh, if he means Seattle, not at all. I'm kind of excited to see how they do. I'm a little bit jealous that I think their defense has already got better depth than Vancouver, but what can you do?
Let's go back on her tree now.
Yes.
He's
The
been
shadows-
waiting. Hoping to God Mason McTavish is a new Ryan Getzlaf in the future. When y'all back in Anaheim, let me know. I missed the last meetup. We really want to
we
go.
would like to go back to Anaheim.
Really, really, really. But again, can't cross the border yet. So
Right.
probably next year.
Yes, it's probably going to be a 2022 thing.
Yeah. Have to work early tomorrow. Good night. Great work as always. Hopefully I can make the trip from Ontario to join you in road hockey sometime. That would be quite the trip.
It'll be a long trip.
We did have somebody come from Toronto once.
Yes, we did.
And they didn't
For
tell
one
us
of the Brody hints.
that he was from Toronto until he was leaving. We're like, holy crap, that's a long ways. Okay. Hey, THG, hockey player question. Will you ever do a video on Stu Grimson? What made him so special and why was he known as the Grim Reaper? Do you have the book? I've seen it at the store before.
I think I've got the Stu Grimson book. Stu Grimson scared the hell out of everybody. He was the toughest player in the league. He scared people. He was called the Grim Reaper for a reason, not just for his last name. He was the toughest. You can always tell because as their careers go along, they fight less because nobody wants to fight him. And Stu definitely had that going on.
Skip around. I don't think the Wild stole the goalie from the Oilers. I'm pretty
the
sure
Oilers
they
traded him.
gave him.
He's right here.
Here you go. You can have
We
him.
don't need a goalie.
What do
We've
you
got
think
Mike
about
Smith for another 2 years. What do we need a goalie for?
What do you think about the Flyers and Blues moves since playoffs ending?
I like the Blues picking up Buchnevich. I think that's a smart move. The Flyers definitely revamping their blue line. There's some risk in the Ristolainen deal, but it'll be interesting to see how it works out. At the very least, they'll have a very good top four.
I was excited to watch the draft after I heard the Canucks news. I just drove away to go camping. So now missed the first half. Did Vancouver pick up some more picks?
Nope. Vancouver has not made another trade since the start of the draft. And that's what we have so far in the draft. We're up to pick number 20. And that's it.
As a Vegas native and a lifelong Caps fan since '92, I'm beginning to resent friends and the new hometown team at home that think they are owed a cup already. Have you ever experienced something like that? That is a very
I've never seen a team have that much success that early. So I think there is definitely a spoiled aspect to it.
And I think it drives other fan bases crazy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What do you think about the Flyers and Blues? Oh, I already read that one, didn't I?
You did.
It really is. It skips around. True story. Ducks purposely drafted Stu because it forced other teams to take them seriously despite the Disney ownership.
That would make some sense.
Can you do a Brian Scrudland? Okay,
Scrudland.
video.
I can. Journeyman. I haven't done a journeyman video in a while. I would qualify Scrudland as a journeyman.
Okay. Aren't you two being dual U.S. citizen? No. Okay, first off, no. Means you can go into the U.S. and back as you please? Nope, that's not a thing.
No.
Shannon is not American in any way.
No.
And even I am dual. My mom is dual. My kids are dual. You can't just cross the border. It's a pandemic. They're trying to limit exposure for the pandemic. No, you can't just cross the border because you want to. You have to actually have a reason.
They're probably going to make it so
can't.
It's easier to cross before the end of August, but
yeah,
at the very least, they're leaving it closed until August 21st.
So no, we have not crossed the border since last.
They will turn
March.
you back. They will turn you back.
We are not flying to the States.
Yes.
We're not supposed to be going to the States just for the hell of it.
Okay,
nope.
That is such good news. That is such good news for me. I know people won't care that it's good news for me. But with Fabian Lysell, when he was when I saw his profile, I was like, I want him to go to a team I cheer for. So I wore Dallas gear for that video. Well, Dallas ends up trading that pick. So Lysell ends up with the Bruins. I am a happy camper. That is good news. Kudos to them. Kudos to them. They get Fabian Lysell. That's awesome. Let's go Bruins. So he's the number 13 prospect on here. So there you go. There you go. That's awesome.
Can Tampa three-peat or will they lose too much depth?
I can't see them three-peating. It's too hard. It is just too hard.
What is Edmonton doing? Why would they pass on a first-round goalie, which they desperately need as a starter?
Guess they don't think that they need a goalie.
Collins' four-brain plan.
I guess they don't think they need a goalie. They wanted that third-round pick more.
They wanted to be nice to Minnesota.
They traded down. We'll see who they pick, but they felt like they could get their pick they wanted at this spot.
They're being nice.
They got another draft pick out of it.
Since Holland passed on the goalie, could the Freddie Anderson to Edmonton rumors be true?
It's possible. I don't know that Freddie Anderson necessarily fixed the problems in Edmonton's goal, but he should have a bounce back year.
When are you moving to Houston? No.
We can't. I can't just.
You can't just move to another country.
Yeah, I can't do that. I could try.
I don't know if you guys know this.
I could try.
Americans don't like it when people from other countries just decide they're going to move there.
I guess I could just go to Houston and just pick a house.
I don't.
And just be like, yeah, no, I live here.
I'm moving here.
Yeah, no, this is my house.
But,
no, I decided.
New hockey fan here. At what age do you start to get wary of free agent players? In most leagues, you don't want to sign somebody older than 30.
Yeah, 30's it. And any long-term contract given to a player who's 28 at the start of that contract is seen as a contract that's probably not going to age well. So, yeah, that's around the same age.
No, the border does not open on August 9th. The border going into Canada is open, but we're already here. So
we're letting Americans into Canada, but Canadians.
The border going into the States is not opening up.
So the whole thing was psych.
So no. U.S. citizens, if you have both doses of your vaccine and it's been 2 weeks since your second dose on August 9th, you will be able to come into Canada.
And then they use the ArriveCan app.
Yes, you do have to pre-register on an app to do that, but yes.
Which is the same thing that Canadians have to do coming back
fully vaccinated can come into Canada August 9th, but it's not the same going the other way.
Right.
We still can't go into the States.
Nope.
Sharks fan here is Eklund NHL ready?
He's seen as one of the more NHL ready of the prospects in this year's draft. I think he'll get a shot at it. I think with the depth problems they have up front, I think he'll be given every opportunity to make it. So we'll see how it goes.
if you cross the border, you go back, wouldn't you have to quarantine for 14 days? It wouldn't be at your home, hotel somewhere. No. Okay, so if we went into the States and came back, we would have to quarantine for 14 days in our home.
Right
if
now,
we
yes.
flew from another country into Canada, we would have to quarantine in one of their quarantine hotels, which they're getting rid of.
For 5 days.
Yeah, and it's for 5 days, and you have to do a bunch of COVID tests just to make sure you're not bringing
not cheap.
cooties. Yeah, what were they? $250 or something?
Yeah, the tests are not cheap.
Well, tests for traveling aren't cheap. If you're going to get tested for other reasons, they're free. Pizza pops are a real thing, and they're gross.
Pizza pops are fantastic.
They're gross. Don't listen to him. They're gross.
They're great.
They're gross.
Pizza rolls are nice too.
No, they're not. What are your thoughts on Casa and Edvinsson for Detroit? I see Hedman and Vasi as their ceilings.
It's funny because Wallstedt was being compared to Vasilevsky, but Casa was seen as a very good goaltender as well. Honestly, the groundwork's being laid by Detroit, by Steve Yzerman to create a really good team, a really good setup for them. Quite impressed.
Make your own country. That sounds expensive.
And time-consuming. I'd need to create a flag, too. And I don't know how I'd get,
I think that'd be the most fun part of it. Everything else would be
I have Abraham Lincoln on there. Because it'd have to be Abraham Lincoln. His hat was a little bit shorter.
Okay, anyways. Go for Shadow.
Okay, so Shadow just swatted her.
There's a chunk of her fur. Look at her just like, no, my tree. That was Shadow trying to climb up the tree.
No, he swatted her on the backside.
Post.
He swatted her on the backside.
Climbing up the post,
yeah,
too.
And he swatted her on the backside.
This is what I'm talking about, him being a boy. Okay. Go figure. Price isn't going to be out as long as they projected before expansion.
He's not going to be out at all. He's supposed to be ready for opening night.
Prince Edward Island ever produce a Hall of Famer or any good players?
I'm sure PEI's produce good players. I don't know about Hall of Famers, though. It'd be nice.
Okay.
It'd be nice. He just swatted you on the bum. There's no problem with that.
Would you do a career video on Ryan Kessler? Seems like he had a pretty interesting career.
At some point. He hasn't actually retired yet, though. Okay, so the Oilers draft Xavier Bourgeau. All right, Xavier. I gotta make sure I spell that right. Yeah, okay. Oh, I missed a U. See, I knew I had to make sure I was doing it right. B-O-U-G-A-U-L-T. There's too many U's in it. Yvonne, tell him to spell his name different. Okay, now Dallas is on the clock. That's the pick they got from Detroit. Detroit got that pick.
You're welcome here in New York. No, we're not welcome anywhere in the United States. We're not allowed to go, even though we're fully vaccinated. We're not allowed.
Washington, I think.
They've said, no Canadians. You guys are too awesome for us. We can't handle it. So
that was the Washington pick, right? And that ends up going to Dallas. Okay, so Dallas is up next. We'll see who Dallas takes. No goaltender for them.
No, the southern border of the U.S. is not open either.
No. I think that's part of it, too. I think they have to coordinate when to open both. I don't think they want to open the Canadian border and not the Mexican one. So I think they want to have a plan for both borders.
Yvonne and Shannon, the de facto Immigration Canada and Border Police representative to the hockey world. People just ask us a ton of questions about crossing the border. And since we live right on the border, been crossing the border my entire life.
Yes.
Entire life. That's what happens when you have family on both sides of the border.
Sure.
Like, I have family on the border on both sides. So, yes. Let's see. Is Schmidt on the way out, or is it all chatter?
I think the likelihood of him getting moved goes up with the acquisition of Oliver Ekman-Larsson. They still need cap room.
Okay. Trying to see. It keeps skipping over things. So I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any others. Okay. Murray picking Mctavish makes me hate him even more. if that's even possible. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong.
McTavish is a good pick. He might be a little bit higher than what people expected, but I've seen him as high as 4 on mock drafts. Really good, solid pick. We'll see how it turns out for them.
Nick. Sorry, God.
Next time you're in Vegas, you take a trip to Reno, stop by the Republic of Malcia.
How far is Reno from Vegas?
It's a drive.
Okay, I didn't think they were close.
It's a drive. So
Going new places would be fun.
my dad used to go to Reno all the time.
I've never been to Reno.
Yeah, my dad used to go to Reno.
Thoughts on Rangers move today with the Booch trade. There you go. And the pick. Big fan of the channel. Keep up the good work.
I think the Mctavish trade shows I think there's something else coming. Their pick today, a good value pick. Again, I did a video on them a couple weeks ago. Good value pick for them. I think the Rangers are building up to something. I think there's something else coming. I don't think they're in on Eichel. We'll see, but it sounds like everything Eichel-wise has kind of calmed down. I think the asking price is too high.
Pizza Pops will give you either cancer or heart disease.
But those two things offset one another.
Nah.
So if you have both, it offsets one another.
They're really
That's how
gross.
that
They don't taste good.
They taste fantastic.
No, oh no, I mean you'd be welcome when you can come over. It would be fun.
Okay, so Dallas, their pick is in. They must have told them to hurry up.
Scrudland fastest playoff overtime goal. All around great guy. Playoff run as captain of the Panthers. It'd be interesting. Love your content, Shannon.
Yep, he was on the team that caused the littering of the ice with rats.
It's icky. Okay.
Who did they pick? Okay, so they draft Wyatt Johnson. All right, Dallas takes Wyatt Johnson, center.
As an Americans don't understand when everyone else cares about the pandemic. It is different other places. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Wyatt Johnson's picked. Now Florida's next on the clock.
Rate the moves the Blue Jackets have made today, 1 to 10 scale, picks and trades. Also thoughts on any trades they should make.
I think they've done a very good job. I overall, I would give them an 8 or a 9 on what they've done today. If you know you can't keep Seth Jones, you've got to restock your team. I think they've done that. They've got some good futures out of it. They get themselves a little bit younger and competitive. They do it in a way that they shouldn't be seen as just rebuilding. The price that Chicago paid, both in terms of how much they traded for him and how much they signed Seth Jones for, that's a lot for Seth Jones. So for Chicago, there's a lot of risk there. And in terms of what they do going forward, I'll be interested to see what they do with their forward group. Laine, how long does Laine stay there? Do they figure that out? Does a new coach make the difference with Laine? Does he get it going? Because if Laine can get back to a 35-40 goal form, not even 50, but just 35-40, it goes a long way to fixing your biggest weakness for Columbus, which has been the attack.
Reno's only a 9-hour drive from Vegas.
I didn't know. Oh, no, Nevada's really big. That's right. Nevada is really big. Yeah.
Texan here. Nil loves leadership qualities, but did he pay too much for Ben's high-touted locker room captaincy?
Ben's contract has aged badly. His contract has definitely aged badly. In the hindsight, it was an overpay, but that's not unusual. You know, a team will have a player like that that's the face of the franchise, and you'll overpay to keep the guy there until retirement. Vancouver, it kind of felt like that with Vancouver and the Sedin's last contract. I totally understood why they kept him. At the time, I felt like maybe that money could have gone somewhere else, but I got why they kept him.
How many NHL arenas have you visited? Go Devils.
Anaheim, Vegas, Vancouver. And in the case of Edmonton, I was at the one they had before their current one.
My tea's all
Years
gone.
and years and
That's
years ago.
sad. Shannon, a bunch of people are asking if you will live stream tomorrow. I vote yes to make money for Yvonne's raise.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we will be.
we're live streaming tomorrow morning for rounds 2 through 7, which go much faster than this.
Much, much faster,
Yes.
and they're a lot harder for Shannon to keep up with. So, I mean, if nothing else, that's humorous. So,
No, I'm going to figure out a different way to do it tomorrow.
Good. Because in previous years, that would be tricky.
It gets ridiculous. Hey, Kitty. She's just mad now because Shadow smacked her on the ass.
Yeah, this is why we don't normally do it in the living room, because you can see a kid or 2 or 4.
She's just so choked that he smacked her on the backside. She's just like,
I was on my tree.
This
is my tree. It's not his
She gets so
tree.
mad because he did. He jumped up and then he just walloped
climbed
her.
back.
He just went up and just walloped her right on the backside. Like, hey, I'm right here. Smack. Oh, there he is again.
What time is it? 7:43. You're welcome.
This is supposed to be over in like 15 more minutes, isn't it?
Does your
How many
daughter
hours
walk
is
her
it gonna
bunnies on a
take?
leash? We do have bunny leashes, which we've done a few times. We're careful with that
Pickle
because
loves that.
he does this crazy bunny leap where like his
His
back
legs
feet
just fly out sideways and he flips over this. It's like Stuart. Look what I can do. It's the same thing,
Yes,
from Mad TV. Look what I
Yes.
can do. It's the same thing.
But we have a dog playpen that the bunnies go in if it's nice out during the day, not at night or anything like
And
that.
then I've just ordered a second playpen we can attach to the first one to double the size of their play area.
That way the bunnies get lots of
So
running and you can
there's-
sit in there with them and
Yeah,
and all
there's
of
going
that.
to be a lot of room for them with that second one. Not that they're not spoiled already.
They're so spoiled.
Yeah.
How was Harold Ballard allowed to continue owning a team?
The way ownership worked back then, it was different. The odds of the league ever stepping in, there were some terrible owners. At some point in time, I will talk about some of the terrible owners in the NHL. Eddie Livingstone may have been the one they all hated. None of them were great people. So there's been some rough ownership in the NHL, and I've got all the history books downstairs that get into it. So at some point, I'll do ownership videos because, Ballard may have been one of the worst, but there were some other really bad ones as well.
How long are they giving them to decide? Because this is forever.
It's 5 minutes per team.
It seems
But it's been
longer
more
than
than
that.
that.
Yeah.
It has been more than that.
Since
Pick
the
is in,
Minnesota
and then
one,
they
that's
wait before
a
they go to
long
it.
time. Okay.
So Ratu has fallen all the way down here to where Florida's picking. Just as I had expected, he drops.
You need to give the new mods a raise. They're doing a fantastic job. They are. I've seen how many comments they've been deleting. So that's awesome. We didn't need Wallstead. We needed more centers who can actually win a face-off. Gurin is nothing more than an armchair GM, blaming the goalies for everything.
Well, see, Talbot's older. Talbot's going to be out pretty soon. And then you've got Kakkonen. And then after that, you need a guy who's going to come in. Wallstead is going to be a fantastic goaltender for the next decade plus. He's supposed to be like Vasilevsky level. And I think he's going to be looking to free agency to fix things down the middle. I think that's the plan. And whether it's right or wrong, we'll see.
Thank you both for streaming tomorrow.
No worries.
Okay.
Because there's always steals in the 2nd through 7th rounds. And with how crazy this year is and we just don't know, I'm going to enjoy doing a video on, the 2nd through 7th round and who I think might be the steals out of that too.
What about good owners like the one of the best, Ed Snyder?
Yeah, Mike Ilitch, another one that was a very good owner.
What?
I
what
could
time
do owner
tomorrow?
videos. It'll be early.
Morning.
It'll be early because the 2nd through 7th round are supposed to be on at 8:00 in the morning. So I'll probably be setting up for about 7:45 in the morning. So that's Yvonne realizing that her Friday night is going to be awesome.
We don't normally wake up at that time of day.
Yeah, we do.
Man,
I was up at 4:30 this morning. Thanks,
well, not
Shadow.
on purpose. We don't intentionally wake up that early.
If Pixel would have come up here and just done her police work, we wouldn't have to come up here.
Now I have to decide what jersey to wear tomorrow.
Where are the Flyers?
No, I don't have a Flyers jersey.
Oh, I got Flyers I can loan you.
I like wearing
got
jerseys
tons.
that fit. Thank you.
I got tons of Flyers.
Okay. I have jerseys that I haven't ever got to wear.
How about one of my geeky jerseys? Do you want to wear one of those?
Those are huge.
Since it's early in the morning tomorrow too, I'll be wearing a jersey for that live stream, so people won't be as weirded out for that one. It's nice now though; it's cooled off really nicely here.
This was an impressive fumble by the Oilers.
See, it
It was
depends.
very nice of them.
It depends because the Wallstead pick ending up going to Minnesota from Edmonton it really depends on whether or not Ken Holland has something else in the offing. If there's something else coming for them, I'll be interested to see what happens. Florida's pick is in. Now Gary Bettman's ready to go to it. It's just it's taking a while. Oh, look, palm trees. Palm trees.
Those are
See palm
stabby.
trees?
Did you guys know palm trees are stabby?
Shane
In the
Churla.
desert,
You want a guy who
everything
could win a fight. Shane
wants to
Churla
stab
could win a
you.
fight. I remember when we had Churla and McRae in Dallas. Those were
Okay.
Minnesota. That was a fun
Yvonne
time.
needs a raise. Who has stronger hockey power?
Oh man, what kind of name?
My hockey powers are
Mackie.
horrible. They're absolutely awful. If any of you guys have ever seen my brackets, they are awful. So I definitely do not have hockey power. Palm trees are stabby. All the palm trees I have touched were really
one of the first things in
pokey.
Vegas was checking out palm trees.
Yeah,
Because
those are some weird plants.
So yeah,
They're really pokey.
Mackie Semiskevich is the pick.
Cut
for
yourself on those things.
Florida right winger. So we'll see. And now Columbus is back on the clock. Which pick would that
I'm
be?
used to leaves being
That's
really
Toronto.
soft. So, yes, palm trees are stabby. Any chance of coming to Victoria for a meetup and hockey game in the near future? Also, love your channel and energy.
We're
Near
doing the one meetup
future?
this week, and then we'll see what we do with the meetups from here. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, that would be 8 Pacific time.
Which is 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern.
I'll have tea ready for you, Yvonne. Aw, thanks, Lisa. But do I have to go and get it? Or because I think it might be cold by the time I get to New York. 5 times reportedly interested in Kuznetsov. What destinations do you think fit for that kind of contract and considering his antics?
It'd have to be somewhere where he's,
Oh, she delivers.
I don't know. Kuznetsov's a tough fit. I think it would have to be somewhere where it's lower profile. He can't really get himself into trouble, which makes you think of some of the Canadian teams. I don't know if he'd want to go to the Canadian teams. I know that Vancouver's looking for a Russian player because they want somebody to come in who can, talk to Podkolzin. I don't know how you make that work, but I know they're in looking for a Russian player.
The ferries are expensive. They most definitely are. Especially, we'd have to take our van because we'd need all of our stuff, all the tons of stuff we take to meetups. That would be, that'd be tricky.
We need the Vancouver one today.
Is this a weak draft class? What has been the weakest draft class in your time? Because you're really old.
It's considered a not a. How do I put this? There's a lot of guys in this draft who should be NHLers. It's not considered to be one that has a lot of stars. And it's not one that was well scouted because of the pandemic, and a lot of scouts couldn't see guys in person, so they had to scout them through video, which they don't like. The weakest draft, you could look at 1999 and 2000 as probably the 2 weakest drafts. They were back-to-back. And those drafts, there's some really good players out of those drafts, sure, but overall, they were pretty weak draft classes.
Who can Vegas get at number 30?
Again, I don't. At 30, it's a tough call because the draft is really all over the place. We're already into that. Like Samiskevich at 23 is an example. Lysell ends up falling to 20. He should have gone as high as maybe 14 or 13. Gunther goes at 9th. He was picked to go 3rd by me. I thought he was going to go 3rd. So, yeah, this draft is really unpredictable.
Maybe this is an underrated draft?
Yes. I would say that there's going to be some really good value-added players in the 3rd, 4th round and beyond.
Why did Ratty fall so much?
He didn't advance. So with Ratu, what happened is that he was considered to be head and shoulders above everybody else. And then in his draft year, he didn't make the advancements that other guys in his class did. And so there's some doubt as to whether or not he's a star level player. So he ends up falling as far as he has because he just hasn't shown any offense as was expected. And there's some discussion about whether or not he ever will. So that's how he ends up dropping in this draft.
I know you have a ton of different jersey, but what is the rarest or oldest jersey you own?
Man, the rarest or oldest. I mean, any of my CCMs from the 80s would be very hard to find now, but they're pretty beat up.
Even if you got one new, they're made so much
the stadium
so different than jerseys are made now.
The 2014 stadium jerseys I got from Jersey Baron, the Kings and the Rangers, those ones are so hard to find. And so they're not that old, but they're really hard to find. Some of the stadium jerseys, like the Ducks stadium jersey from that same year, it's not. New Jersey Devils too. I think it was 2014 for them too. Yeah, the New Jersey one, good luck finding it. So yeah, they're tough to find, and when you find them, they're really expensive.
Why does Lou hate first-round picks? 4 third-round exits.
Well, I mean, if you're successful in the playoffs and if your team's successful in the regular season, losing those first-round picks doesn't hurt you so much. So yeah, Columbus picking again their 3rd pick in the first round.
How
They've
long
had a
is
pretty
the
good
first round?
31 picks.
Okay.
So we're up to 24.
Oh,
Although that says 25.
Gosh.
But technically it's 24 because I'm not counting number 11 because they didn't pick.
Right. Okay, can you talk about the steals of the draft so far and why it's Lysell?
Lysell should be a steal, and that'll make people really happy because it's the Bruins that got him. Eklund at 7 for San Jose could be a huge steal. I like Sillinger at 11 for Columbus, although I know that's going to be recorded as 12 on their website. Svechkov could be a steal. If Svechkov finds that offense, if he finds that offense at the NHL level, Svechkov will be a steal.
Shannon, huge fan, homie.
Thanks, Holmes.
That's me saying that. Weird. We do. Can you put tea in my cup for me, please? You can take it to the kitchen. Not while I'm holding it, please. And can you put
Corson Coolman's.
Thank you, sweetie. Okay. Why am I wearing a Thrashers jersey? Because look at this jersey. How
Same
fun is
reason I
this
do.
jersey? I mean,
Same reason I do. Thrashers jerseys are fun.
because this jersey's awesome.
They're good jerseys. Okay, so
It's
Minnesota's
generally
up
why
next.
I wear
Number 26, who's picked with that?
jerseys. I haven't decided which one I'll
Is that
wear
the
tomorrow,
Islanders?
though.
That's got to be the Islanders.
I have
No.
some fun ones. I have some fun ones I've never worn yet, too, because pandemic, so no reason to wear jerseys for a while.
Whose pick is that? Vegas?
What? Oh.
Pittsburgh's. The Pittsburgh's? Pittsburgh's.
Thank you.
Should Jacob be perma-banned from the NHL?
I don't think he should be perma-banned.
Yeah, can this go any slower? I know.
So I'm pretty sure that's the Pittsburgh pick at 25. That's actually belonging to Minnesota. Because that pick at 29, that would be Vegas? No, 29 would be Islanders?
This is too an awesome jersey. If you don't agree, you're wrong. So, don't injure yourself.
What? Don't judge me.
You said don't injure yourself.
Don't
Okay.
judge me.
Thoughts on the Rangers going wing over quite a few center options available?
You pick the best player available. And so that's what you're doing at 15 in this draft. Go with the best player available. If it's a winger, it's a winger.
Fill in the blanks. Oilers missed the playoffs this year. Avs get knocked out early again. McDavid demands a trade and gets sent to Colorado for...
If it was McDavid, it'd have to be like Cale Makar and a first. It'd have to be something major.
Sometimes I can't tell Shannon and Tom Cruise apart. There is a really easy way to tell.
I don't
Shannon's
yell at my
awesome. Shannon's awesome and he's nice.
I don't yell at my staff
So
often. Okay, so they're holding up a jersey
does Shannon
for Minnesota.
have an alter ego? THC.
Okay, so
Yes.
Minnesota's picking again, Yvonne. That's a fun hat. Can you give me that hat? I need more hats.
What is that? Is that red stitching on
I
it?
don't know. Well, they were going to show us the name of the player, and then
They're just wearing socks. Why
Oh,
don't they have
Carson-
their slippers
Carson
on in their
Lambos.
house?
So Corson and Carson go back to back. Nice. And they're both defensemen too.
Okay.
Defense.
What would you say is the best place to get a jersey, custom or an actual player, from someone who doesn't live in the U.S. or Canada?
Ooh.
You're in
I
Europe.
know Cool Hockey accepts ones you send in, but I don't know how much that costs. Hockey Authentic, same thing. I know you can send them to them. I know they'll do custom, but again, I don't know how much that costs for shipping to get it back and forth. They both do very good job though with the number and the names. I've had some from Cool Hockey. You've seen those, the Cool Hockey ones,
Yes.
like that Bluger I just got. They're nicely stitched.
Yeah.
They're nicely done. Hockey Authentic supposed to be excellent as well. I mean, you can reach out to the site and see. I mean, I'm pretty sure on there too. Cool Hockey talks about the program they have where you can send them the jersey and they put everything on it. But the price for shipping could be high.
Do y'all own Victoria Royals jerseys?
No, I wanted that black one. Remember?
Yeah, I thought. Did you not get
I didn't
one?
get
I thought
it.
you
It was
got
too
one.
expensive.
Oh, that's right.
It was expensive, and I think they were charging me shipping that was expensive too. I'm like, what the heck? From Victoria? No, not paying that. So yeah. I may have a friend who's able to get me a Vancouver jersey too, the Vancouver Giants, the new one. I have a friend who might be able to get me one. So we'll see.
Okay. Oh, I already read that one. Yeah, read that one. And skip to the bottom. Yeah, if you yelled, your staff would yell back. Shannon has better calves than Tom Cruise. No doubt.
I don't think so. Tom does Mission Impossible movies. Like he can fly.
He's not
airplanes with his
doing one
legs,
right
so.
now.
Yes, he is. Actually, no, because they got shut down from COVID. But
Because I don't
he's doing
think. No.
that's not calves, sweetie.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
They're
that's
nice.
not a calf.
It's nice. Okay.
Calves are.
How much to get a signed shirt from Shannon?
I've signed shirts for people,
It's
but it's
weird.
weird. I always kind of say, "Are you
I
sure?" Because it's a nice shirt.
Really?
You sure you want me to sign this?
Be weird.
It
Especially
is
when
strange.
it's not like a U shirt.
No. I've
Oh.
been asked to sign jerseys, and I'm like, I don't. That's a nice jersey. Why would you want me to sign that?
Where did you get that muscle kangaroo jersey, Shannon?
The Australia one.
You got it from your friend.
That was my friend Mike,
He had a friend give it to
Yeah.
him.
because he went on tour, and when he goes on tour, he wants hockey pucks, but they often give him jerseys. So
Now he has a jersey collection.
he
Yes.
does. He's got a nice puck collection.
Yeah, he
It's
does.
fantastic.
What Predators players jerseys do you own? Thank you, sweetie.
I have an old Shea Weber. Geez, who else do I have with Nashville?
Yeah.
I know I have a Cliff Ronning coming. That way you can have your own Nashville jersey.
I don't need a Nashville jersey.
So I have a
Thank
Cliff
you.
Ronning coming with Nashville, an Arizona Cliff
Oh, that's
Ronning.
good. I forget what kind of tea I made.
I have a Canucks Cliff
That's really
Ronning
good,
coming
though.
too. So I have 3 Cliff Ronnings coming, which means people who don't know who
Mhm.
Cliff Ronning is will think my last name is Ronning. So that'll be funny.
Shannon likes them. Okay.
Yeah,
That tea's great.
Cliff Ronning was one of my favorite players.
Okay.
Him and Cam Neely.
Will Canes go for a top 6 offense star? If so, who?
They might. The thing with Carolina is they don't really have to. They have a really solid offensive attack from first line through fourth. They don't really need to. And they have Suzuki coming up. We'll see. We'll see what they do.
What do you think of the Bees pick? I'm loving it.
Oh, yes. I did a video on Fabian Lysell. And as soon as I saw all of his stats and where he's from and all that, and I went, oh, Dallas. I wanted him in Dallas, right? So I wanted him on a team I cheered for. But when Dallas traded that pick, I'm very glad Boston got him. I think that's going to be great.
Lisa, if you see someone picketing in front of your house with a sign, show us the calves, it's me.
And yes, Ratu at one point was projected to go first overall. Didn't happen.
What happened with the Wild switching with the Oilers? It was really nice in the Oilers. That's what happened.
Yeah, the Oilers,
That was
they
great.
traded down for the player they wanted, and they got an extra pick in the 3rd round. So the Oilers, they were after Xavier Bourgeau, and so they weren't interested in Jesper Wallstedt. Minnesota was. So they make that trade, and Edmonton picks up another draft pick later in the draft.
What one team would you most like to see take risks in jersey design, not unlike the Thrashers did? Thrashers
Carolina.
had really fun jerseys.
Carolina. I'd like to see. I know people like the white one with the Canes on the front. I'd like to see the double flag. I'd like to see the double flag. I'd like to see something really fun done with those jerseys.
Yvonne, what is your favorite jersey? Did you ever have a fear situation like Shannon did with Canucks versus Bruins final with your favorite teams? My favorite jersey. Oh, I don't know.
Red Minnesota.
Probably either my red Minnesota, that one I wore
Or my Wild Wing.
on Wednesday.
You love my Wild Wing.
No, or Heritage Jets. I
Burger
really
King
like
jersey.
that. It's definitely not Burger King.
Burger King is
It's nothing with marigold or orange. Same situation as Shannon.
Flyers.
Honestly, my very favorite games are Jets and Minnesota playing together. Those games are so fun to watch. I was really sad I didn't get to see those this past year. No, those games are fun. So that game, either team winning would be great. Usually I do have one that I'll be kind of rooting a little bit more for. It will depend on like how far into the season it is, but I really like the Wild and Jets games. Those are my very favorite games to watch. Okay. Oilers shot themselves in the foot.
We'll see. We're still early in the summer. We'll see if they've shot themselves in the foot or not.
Who in the draft wins for best name?
So far, that's a tough call. Xavier Bourgeau. That sounds like a wine more than it sounds like a player.
It does.
This is a nice 1938 Xavier Bourgeau. That's a good vintage right there.
Jets are my favorite Canadian team. Amazing logo. I like the Jets. They have really fun jerseys too. They have a lot of nice jerseys. I don't really like the blue one with Jets, but that's another thing. What are the Canucks thinking?
The Canucks are thinking win now. And this is a problem we've had under the tutelage of Jim Benning. Win now. And then when it doesn't work, he says, well, we'll try to win later. And so he signed bad contracts. Now he had to give up draft picks to get rid of the bad contracts. And it's hard to give him credit when those bad contracts were ones that he signed, that at the time they were signed, people said they were probably bad contracts. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes from here.
Tell me what the Oilers are doing. Hyman with a bad contract and trading away a solid goalie that they desperately need.
They're of the mind that they need help up front. Hyman will help them. I don't know how well that contract's going to age, but for right now, that's what they're worried about, much like Vancouver. Just worried about the right now. Don't worry about later, which often bites teams in the backside, but we'll see if that happens here.
People are saying it's pronounced Borgo.
But then it doesn't sound
That's
like
not as fun.
it doesn't sound like a good vintage of
We've
wine.
decided it's pronounced differently.
Yeah,
He's
so
wrong.
I'll let him know that it's now being pronounced the other way.
Okay.
And that's how that's going to work.
The Canes should do a jersey with one half of the jersey. It's like a hurricane spinning on an angle, kind of like Team Canada in the 70s with half their uniform being in the shape of a maple leaf.
And then what they should do,
Yeah, I remember those.
what they should do is to get a real home ice advantage, hurricane force winds on the ice. And just though their players will be used to it because they'll practice in hurricane force winds, and then you'd have real home ice advantage.
Oh my gosh.
Just think about how amazing that would be, right? Or like at a Seattle game, squids. Just squids are in the center of the ice to represent Kraken. You could put like a hat on them to make them look like Kraken. And then that's your home ice advantage is various
Wait.
squids on the ice.
A hat on the squid to make it look like a kraken?
Right. Because
How would a hat on a squid make it?
Because it's
look
gonna have
a
like
kraken?
extra eyeballs and stuff to make it look like a kraken,
Oh,
and
yeah.
extra tentacles coming out of the hat.
That would look just like yes. Okay.
And the Oilers, oil slick.
Yeah. Do you,
Ice and an oil slick.
then. Do you own an Admirals jersey?
Milwaukee, yes, I have a white one. I've also heard they are coming out with a redesign of their jerseys this year, so that'll be fun to see.
How long will it take for Houston to get a team?
They are next in line for if/when a team moves.
The
I
wheel
don't think it'll be an expansion.
The Avs were everyone's favorite to win the cup. What do you think they need to do to achieve that goal?
Their defense was what eventually melted down for them. That young blue line, they just need experience. Just experience. The neighbor dog really wants to play with that little puppy.
Our neighbor on one side has a dog, and she's so sweet, and she just wants to play with everybody. She always wants to play with the bunnies.
She comes over and leans against the fence so I can pet her through the fence.
Yeah, she really wants to play with the bunnies. Not like in a mean way, just really wants to play. They're my friends. We need to play.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
Her ears all perk up and she gets excited.
Never been able to join your live stream, but just wanted to show my support. Do you think the Devils should have gone with a different player? Forgive me if you answered this already.
For the Devils, they went with Luke Hughes. That's the safe pick. Clearly, Devils fans wanted it. There were Luke Hughes signs everywhere. I honestly think it'll be fine. I think that Luke Hughes is a legit player, and I think he'll be fine. So Carolina trades the number 27 pick. So we wait for Carolina, and then they trade it to Nashville.
Forever.
So that's gone to Nashville.
Forever.
Why am I getting deja vu? Either I'm getting deja vu because this happens every year, or...
I don't remember it being this long. 3.5 hours so far?
Yeah. Well, there is the extra pick from Seattle. So, All right, so
this is ridiculous.
Nashville acquires the number 27 pick. Carolina gets number 40 and number 51. So that's picking up 2 second-round picks for Carolina because I guess they didn't like who they saw in the first round.
Why are so many European people's favorite team the Rangers? Oh, see, I know a lot of European.
Original six will always have,
Rangers.
but the original six will always have the most fans because they have that long history, and it's family passed down, and so you're always gonna have the largest fan bases.
I'm just trying to think. I know a lot of European.
There were a lot of original six fans that if they
teams.
knew better, they wouldn't be original six fans, but that's just how that works. So I wonder if they're going after Ratu. Ratu has dropped all the way down to 26, so it's possible that that's where Nashville's looking here. They've got Svechkov. Ratu may be the guy.
Are you doing a video of draft grade for each team?
I'm going to do like a review when the draft's all done, and I'll talk about which teams I think did well and which ones didn't. I don't do like a winners and losers. I think there's way too many instances where teams will be graded as winners and losers, and you look back years later, and they're just flat out wrong. So I will do one, though, that teams I think did well and why, but I don't declare any team a loser at the draft table. Same as on trade deadline day. People go too much towards winners and losers.
Hi, Shannon and wife. Thank you for your purchases from the Cane Man on eBay.
Thank you, Cane Man.
Must have got some of your hurricane stuff from him.
No, he's the one that the Montreal jersey that I got.
Oh,
that team. Isn't that Team Canada too that I got you? That came from him. The Nike Team Canada.
I don't know
the leaves on the sleeves. I got a few jerseys from him too.
I forget.
Remember?
Nope. All right.
I failed as a husband.
I know, right?
Oh, Zachary Leroux.
Okay. Hello, Shannon and Yvonne. Just watched the OEL trade video. My condolences to you as a Vancouver fan. Just kidding. At least they should have top 4 defense group.
Well, you'd think that, but they haven't finished rounding out the top 4 yet. So they're trying to trade Nate Schmidt. So that makes me a little nervous because they don't have a great defense. Their problem's been they allow way too many shots and way too many scoring opportunities, and I'm concerned that's still going to happen. So That's a problem. So Zachary LaRue is picked up by Nashville with the draft pick they got from Carolina. So Montreal just misses out on him by a few spots.
I think the home opener for the Kraken should have Liam Neeson live there saying, "Release the Kraken," like in Clash of the Titans.
Yep, I said that.
It'd be fun. What do you think about the Blues picking Zachary Bolduc?
Good pick. I'll go through these picks. I know after the draft is done, I've got all these notes and all these picks. Bolduc was seen as one that's right about where he could have gone. There were some that had him later in the first round. Real difference of opinions on a lot of these guys. I guess St. Louis was just really high on him.
Love the channel. Would you mind validating my feelings and telling me that the Wild have gotten 2 killer picks?
Lambos is supposed to be excellent, and Wallstead is a fantastic goaltender. So, yeah, that's 2 hits out of 2 for Minnesota.
Excited for the return of Montreal-Boston games. It feels like forever.
Absolutely. Can't wait till Montreal fans are rubbing my nose in it when Boston loses.
What are your thoughts on Mike Smith's career so far? I've always enjoyed watching him and love his personality on the ice. Even pushing 40, he still puts in 110 effort. Keep up the great work.
I think Mike Smith is actually probably a better goaltender now than he was 5 years ago. And I think he appreciates every game he gets to play and every opportunity he gets with Edmonton. I understand why they kept him. I'm kind of surprised it was 2 years, but I understand why they kept him.
You think the Canucks pick they traded today will help the Houston Aeros in a few years?
Arizona is not likely to move over the next few years. They're going to give every opportunity for that team to do well. Interestingly enough, there are rumors out there about whether or not there might be a building put up in Tempe, Arizona for them. We'll see whether or not that rumor goes anywhere, but they're looking for another building. They're looking for a really good location in Arizona. If they move, the first choice is in Arizona itself.
I just got my PJ Axelson Bruins Pooh Bear jersey back. Not sure who to get on my Nashville mustard jersey. Any thoughts?
Nashville mustard jersey. Kriva Krasov. Sergei Kriva Krasov, because then you're getting your maximum value on the name. So I'd go with Kriva Krasov. Or Vokun, because Vokun, he was pretty badass considering nobody expected him to do what he did.
Why does the NHL reward us for finally building a new stadium with long road trip to start the season? What the heck?
I was thinking maybe it was they wanted to make sure the building was done. Maybe they were worried that the building's completion date was going to be delayed. Didn't they
talk about that? Weren't we watching Seattle News the other day?
No, that's Seattle. We're talking about the Islanders.
Okay.
The Islanders,
right.
Start the season with a 13-game road trip.
Oh, that's right. I remember talking about that on the Discord the other day. They don't play a home game until
November 20th.
That is crazy.
It has to be about the opening of the building. Has to be. It's the only thing that makes sense. Okay, Oscar Olesen is the pick for the Colorado Avalanche. Right wing.
What ideas are you giving Shannon? Oh, no. Okay. No, don't give Shannon ideas. Nope. Any thoughts on the Seth Jones trade? Now we know most of the details.
I think it's a win for Columbus. I think it's a win for Columbus. I think it's a great move for them. Okay, so New Jersey's up with a pick that I think is Vegas's. Because
the Parade of Nations was shorter than this. Of course it was. Oh my goodness. This is forever. Okay.
That would have been the Islanders.
Hi from Winnipeg. Hope you guys are doing well. Is the center depth in Winnipeg Jets one of the best in the league now that we have Scheifele, PLD, Perfetti, and Lucius?
Perfetti should be ready this season. And then Lucius coming up. Honestly, you can't have too many centers. So it's a smart move by Kevin Cheveldayoff. Keep adding centers. You can move a center to the wing, moving a wing to center is a lot more of a challenge. So yeah, you can't have too many centers.
I don't want a Meth Tiger jersey. I really don't.
Sure you do.
Yeah. No, I don't.
That's the Islanders
That is
pick there.
one of the
Right.
most
That's the Islanders
ugly
pick in
NHL
the Palmieri
jerseys.
deal. So carry the denominator, carry the 7. Get rid of it with the hat.
Okay,
Divide it
anyways.
by the squirrel. Multiply it by the
THG,
squirrel.
when will you assert your power
Got
and
it.
take over the Canucks?
I
It doesn't
wouldn't want
sound
to do
fun.
that.
It
I
really
would not
doesn't.
want to see banners saying fire THG. Don't get any
Right?
ideas either, internet. But I don't want to see banners flying over the city. No. That'd be frustrating. So yeah, I'm good with where I'm at.
THG hockey jerseys for merch. We looked into
We've looked
that
into
once
it. It's expensive.
years ago.
It's
And
expensive.
the only way to do it is that we would have to order like a whole batch of them, and then people would
Then
have
we're
to
kind of
buy
selling
them
them out
from
of our
us.
house.
And we don't want to do that.
And then at that point, we'd have to have
then
like
we'd
GST.
have to pay the tax.
We'd have to have
We already had to fill out on our taxes that we don't actually sell anything, so we don't have to collect taxes on our things that we sell.
So if we did that, we'd have to
That'd be a
collect taxes,
pain.
and then we'd have to go
But-
through the government. And
Yeah, and then we'd have to
all
deal with
that.
us selling stuff, and that just seems time consuming and a pain.
And then there'd be people sending it back because they didn't think it was good enough, and you'd have people
Right.
arguing about the sizing.
we do
and-
Teesprings, and Teesprings doesn't have jerseys. That would be fun. But,
Yeah, it's too bad. They do
we
all
did-
over print bags though. You could have a nice
Yeah.
purse.
But
So
we
if you
have
want a
looked
nice
into the
THG
jerseys
purse,
things, and it's just
You
not
could hook that up.
practical.
We've been
for
thinking
us.
about golf balls, condoms.
So-
We're thinking about. What? Well, yeah.
This has been a long stream, clearly. Okay. Love the
Why
channel,
not?
by the way. Helped me during some low points during the lockdown and my life. Thoughts on hockey in Houston?
Hockey in Houston will work. It's just a matter of finding a way to get a team there. But it'll work in Houston. I have no doubt. There's such a big market there, and I think there'd be enough interest. It's just a matter of which team would end up moving there.
Scared Coronado pulls a fox and doesn't sign with the Flames.
Nah. I don't worry about that so much. I know there's certain GMs that might be worried about NCAA players not wanting to sign or KHL guys. I don't really worry about that as much though. I know that's though why some GMs might look towards CHL and whatnot. So yeah, Ratu is on the verge of dropping right out of the first round. I honestly, New Jersey, this is their second pick of the first round. Go for it, grab them, because it's the number 29 pick on TV and number 28 on my board.
THG biker shorts. Show
No.
off those calves.
No, that's not a. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shannon bobblehead.
Oh, I can get those done. I know how you can
comment
get those
on
done.
that.
You can get like your own Funkos done too. But I mean, that would be
Might topple over because of the big head.
okay. So Chase Stillman is the next pick for the Devils.
THG calf warmers. They would break going over his calves. Kind of like socks.
Chase Stillman, who is
Okay.
where is it?
Where is the full THG ski mask with your
Center.
face merch? You know they have those. And I thought it was weird. So
Okay, Vegas is on the clock now at 29. Or
how
30th if
long
you're
will
looking
it
on
be
the TV.
until Melnick moves the Sens out of Houston? Seriously, I don't think that team will stay in Ottawa with him owning them.
He has to get the approval of the NHL. So if he was to try to move him, he can't just up and move him. You have to get approval of, I think it's 2/3 of the owners of the NHL. I think that would be a tough sell right now. I do. I think it'd be a tough sell. And he would then probably be forced to sell the team if he was unable to move him.
Montreal playoff bound.
I don't think so, but there's a lot of time left in the offseason. Right now, I don't think so just because of how strong that division is.
I am from Cali. My girlfriend is from Arizona. So go Coyotes.
Makes sense.
I'm glad I found your channel. I wish I found it sooner. Hopefully you can keep me entertained for the next 3 weeks because I'm recovering from surgery and I need my hockey fix to keep my spirits up.
Well, I'll do my best.
Hockey video games work pretty well too.
Yes.
You're my Canadian uncle I never had. What was, in your opinion, the best pick of the draft and or best trade of the day?
The best trade of the day, the Oliver Ekman-Larsson trade's the best trade of the day because it gives us a lot to talk about over the summer. The draft pick I like the best. I like San Jose taking Eklund, although they could have drafted a goalie. And I really like Wallstead to Minnesota as well. I think that was a really good pick. Shadow, what are you doing? Hey,
He wants to lay there and Pixel's not having any of it.
You're
She
not
wants him to
bothering
go
her,
back
are you?
downstairs.
You're not playing I'm Not Touching You, right?
That's his favorite game. What does Montreal need at first round? Is right defenseman the only thing needed this weekend for the rest of the draft?
Well, that's the thing. We're now down to the last few picks of the round. You're not getting anybody who's going to be ready until at least 2 years down the road. So you just draft the best player available. You don't know what your needs are going to be 2 years from now.
Hey, THG, what are your thoughts on Lucas Reichel and when we could see him in the NHL?
He could be in the NHL next year. I could see him making the NHL next year.
Do you think Gaudreau or Bobby Ryan would want to come to Philly because they're both from the area and JVR did the same thing? He got traded, then came back.
Bobby Ryan, if they want him, they can get him. It's not going to be an expensive contract. Gaudreau, that's going to be tough because Calgary doesn't want to have to move anybody out of that core. And I would think of that core, Gaudreau and Tkachuk are the ones they're most likely to want to hold on to. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I kind of like I kind of like the idea of Gaudreau being traded just because I think that'd be a lot of fun to really shake things up. But I don't know that Calgary has an interest in doing it.
THG Pogs.
That'd be great. I got Pogs all over the place down there.
Did anybody ever actually play Pogs or did they just collect Pogs?
A friend of mine played it. We used to play it together.
I don't think I ever remember anybody playing Pogs. I always thought it was silly, but Islanders playoff bound?
They should be. I'd be very surprised if they don't make the playoffs just because Lou Lamoriello seems to be able to get them to the playoffs every year.
Okay. As the royal family of hockey YouTube, with Steve, what other channels bring you insight and joy not made by professionals, if any?
I don't watch hockey channels. I actually, when I'm not doing my own videos, I watch What Culture Wrestling. I watch Red Letter Media. I watch Emma Blackery. I watch, I used to watch Nana Lou all the time, but she doesn't do videos anymore. I watch Mojo because I like to argue with their top 10 lists.
Their ratings for all sorts of things are just.
I like to see their lists and say that's wrong. But I'm usually watching non-hockey related stuff because when I'm done talking about hockey for the day, I like to hear about other things.
He's reading and watching hockey stuff all day as it is.
Right.
Yeah, I think the 17th to the 32nd spots should be determined at the end of the regular season, not the end of the playoffs. Punish underdog playoff teams. Your opinion?
I'm okay with it as it is. It is, bizarre because Montreal ends up drafting 31st, but I think it's an okay trade-off for going to the Stanley Cup final. And this year's draft, I don't think it hurts them that much because the draft is kind of all over the place. There's a lot of butt cams.
Right? Do they know
because
where
they've
the
all
camera
got
is?
because all the webcams are down at this level.
Yeah.
It's just butt cams when they jump up and start dancing around because they got drafted. So Zach Dean is the draft pick for Vegas center.
Okay, the Canes Discord is going to explode. Waddell better be up to something good, or you might see some fans handcuffed to the PNC Arena entrance.
Oh, I would think he's up to something. I can't see him not being up to something.
You think Tarasenko will play again on the Blues, or will he leave to the KHL like Kovalchuk if he isn't traded?
I think Tarasenko will come back and play for St. Louis if GM Armstrong is not able to find the right deal. And I think he'll sit down with them and talk to them and say, look, come in, play well. And if you still want out, fine. But if you come in and you play well, we're going to have an easier time trading you. So basically tell them, come in, do your job, and then we'll look at it again. But it definitely sounds like the market is not what Doug Armstrong wants it to be. And you don't want to sell on a guy that you can get more for. You think he's worth more than what's being offered.
There's a few people on here that used to play Pogs.
Yeah.
That means they're old like us.
Yeah. Everybody played Pogs.
No.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
I never owned them, but I used to go over to my friend's house.
I never owned them, and I
play
never
them.
played it. No.
What do you mean you never played it?
I never played. I thought it looked silly.
It doesn't look silly. You got your
Yeah, it
slammers,
does. I know.
and you slam them, and you win the pugs.
I didn't. You win pugs?
Yeah.
If I was told I'd win pugs, then I would have played.
That's why the name is so close. But
I thought I just won pugs.
But
And what am I going to do with these little cardboard
because
circles?
pugs are copyrighted, they couldn't actually put that in the name of them because it's a copyright issue.
Oh, okay.
So they had to call them pogs. But yeah, there's little frou-frou dogs that come with the board.
Pugs are not frou-frou dogs.
Sure they are.
They're so cute.
They're frou-frou
little
dogs.
smush fishes. Okay.
'Cause
Love
they're
the
frou-frou
channel.
dogs.
You've been my major source of hockey info. Do you
Thank
think
you.
the Flames will find a way to get out of the first round?
Well, this year coming up, it's possible. If we finally get the Battle of Alberta, it's absolutely possible. But they're going to need to turn it around.
Oh, Lisa doesn't know what pogs are. You're just slightly too
Okay, so
old for them.
pogs-
Shannon has pogs.
Pogs are these giant square discs.
He's full of crap.
And what you do is you get up on, if you have, I guess if you live on the second story,
No.
and
okay.
if you throw them at
Don't
an angle,
listen to him at all. We actually have some pogs downstairs.
the
They're
trick
these
is
little
to bounce them off the
cardboard
ground
circles. They're like this
and
big.
try to get them in a cup that's about yay big.
And
But
what did
since
you
they're
do? Like
square-
stack them or something? And then you had a slammer, which was another pog, but it was fat and heavy, and you slam them, and
They're the same size.
it was like marbles.
The slammers are the same size. They're just heavy.
They were heavy.
But they're the
No,
same
some
width.
of them were thicker.
Well, yeah, but
They
I
were
just
the
mean they're
same
the same
size,
size around.
yes,
Yeah.
but thicker. That's what I said.
That's what matters.
But kind of like marbles, to where if you do something, you get to take the other person's pogs, like with marbles. But the pogs, they had like everything on them, like any cartoon or brand, and pogs came free with like everything, and everything had a pog. It was silly. Yeah. Anyways, we have hockey pogs downstairs. Are you shocked? Okay. Are you surprised by the amount of NCAA and USHL players in the draft?
No, that was talked about before this draft, that it was going to be heavy on the USHL and the NCAA players. I think part of that might be because some of the Canadian players didn't really get to play very much this year. They may not have been as well scouted. They may have suffered setbacks in their development because they didn't get to play a full season. I would expect that next year we see more Canadians, but that seems to be the ebb and the flow. Like 2 years ago, we saw a lot of NCAA, USHL as well, and then last year was more CHL.
I may cry myself to sleep every night if Kaprizov goes back to the KHL. I literally just got a jersey before the playoffs, and my only other jerseys are a Parise and Suter. Should I just get a Rossi or a Wallstead?
I would get a Rossi. Sure. I have a Parise and I have a Suter as well, so. And now those are dated, but I have them both.
Pogs were lame. See, I thought it was just silly. It was just,
Those weren't
yeah.
lame, they were awesome. You're
I
just
thought it
not
was
able
silly.
to
I
grasp
didn't-
the awesomeness.
apparently.
Grasp the awesomeness.
I didn't think they were awesome. Yeah. How long do you think
grasping
it'll
isn't
take for Lysell to crack the Bruins roster?
Minimum of 2 years. Like he's not ready now. I would think a minimum of 2 years, and then they'll probably give him a shot. But Boston's willing to bring guys along slowly.
Yes, it is still daylight.
Of
We
course.
get daylight in the summer till about 10:30. Just remember, we're north.
Right.
We're also in the west, so up north and west, so we get sun a lot later than most places. 36 teams should be the max amount of teams for the NHL. Houston, Milwaukee, Kansas City, and Saskatchewan are my choices. Where would you expand to with 36 teams?
See, Saskatchewan, I don't know if it works. I will say this. I would love the idea of Quebec coming back in. The other 3 picks, though, I don't have a problem with. Those are pretty good.
Did you get your Nick Suzuki jersey yet? Is that one of
No.
the ones in the States?
No, I don't have a Nick
If
Suzuki jersey coming yet.
Okay.
I haven't
thought-
actually ordered a Nick Suzuki.
Oh, okay.
I just
know
got
we
a
haven't-
Carey Price, so I'm good with that. I was worried too that was going to jinx me, get picked by Seattle, and be like, "Oh, I did it again."
Okay, stop. Shadow, do you have to?
Of course he does. He has to lord over her and make her nervous.
He has to get the high ground
Make her nervous
so that he can
That's what
jump on
does.
their backs. Because that's the kind of thing he does.
All right, so okay, so Montreal took him. Logan Milieu. He was the one that dropped out of the draft.
2 of the 3 centers, Gurry and Bott, were playing wings on the 4th line, and Bonino was 4th line center. Our highest ranked center was Hartman at 96, and he's a winger. We are in cap hell in 2 years.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of teams in cap hell. Oh, they've even got a
Okay.
video package for him and everything. I'm kind of surprised.
Are you a season ticket holder?
No.
It's
I'm
a
looking
long
at
drive for us to get to a
I'm
game.
looking at getting
and we
quarter
have 3
season.
children.
I'm looking at getting quarter season tickets from Vancouver. So that'd be 10 games, 10 or 11 games.
Going to the games for us is quite tricky. It's a long
Yes.
drive, and we can't possibly afford
And then
to take all 3
for-
kids, and we don't
for
get
the
home till like
Abbotsford-
11:30.
For the Abbotsford Canucks, I'm looking at just going to a few games.
Okay. What do you think of Chuck Fletcher as a GM? It seems like he throws around picks like pennies. He traded a first for Martin Hansel when he was with Minnesota, and now a first and a second for Ristolainen.
Some GMs are like that. They just feel that we want to get the player we know. We're not worried about later on, and it often comes back to bite them.
People are confused by the Habs pick.
Because that was the kid that dropped out of the draft.
Right. Yeah. People are just like, what in the world? Why would they do that?
Yeah, he was on 9 do not draft lists, minimum. So I mean, if you want to take him, okay, but I'm surprised they didn't wait.
Right.
Because he would have been available in the 3rd, 4th, and probably even the 5th round. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. There's definitely going to be some blowback from that.
Okay. Have you or would you guys play hockey in some inline skates? Also, who are you shocked that still hasn't been picked? Also, miss the Cats.
We've had people wear inline skates at meetups here and there, but in general, when I have meetups, it's just for like casual, and it doesn't matter if you can skate. A lot of times we'll have people there that have never played hockey at all. I was at Mike's last week. There was somebody there who never even played floor hockey. So for me, it's important that everybody can just come out and play. And so if you add it with inline skates, you're really dwindling the numbers. And you're also increasing the risk of somebody getting hurt because of the velocity. And if you fall down at that velocity, even with the pads and everything, the odds of getting hurt goes up. So I just prefer the basic street hockey and floor hockey.
Okay, there's a bunch of people that are asking why he was on the no pick list.
He was involved in a really kind of ugly situation where he took compromising photos of a girl.
Sharing videos that you don't share of other
they were just
people,
pictures,
or
but they were pictures. But
yeah, and
he
sharing
shared
them
pictures with
people.
his buddies on the team, but it also revealed
Her
who the
name
girl
and
was.
everything.
So he kind of doxed her, and so she found out, and she never gave him permission. And they were both 17 at the time, so technically that's pictures of a minor. So this is a situation that basically teams heard it and they went, okay, we don't want anything to do with this. And so they were backing off, like, fine. And he apologized and everything. But teams were basically saying we won't draft the player. I'm surprised Montreal took him in the 1st round because it's going to be interesting because I know the blowback from this is going to be pretty harsh. It's going to be pretty harsh.
We are possibly losing our star forward after 1 year because Gurian refuses to do a bridge deal. Now we traded up for a goalie when we didn't need to.
Well, it's possible that I don't think Boston would have taken him, but they wanted that pick, so they trade out a 3rd round pick to make it happen. We'll see how it works out. I understand why he wants Kaprizov long term. He doesn't want to walk Kaprizov to free agency, and yeah, we'll see how it turns out. In the end, I think they'll find a middle ground of probably 4 or 5 years.
What do you think Detroit does with their cap space now after the draft?
I think they'll be careful. I don't think Yzerman's going to go out and spend a bunch. I think he's putting in the building blocks for the team to get a lot better. And that's where the plan is right now. Nope. And we knew.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't make your team look good.
It's because he had withdrawn from the draft.
Right. Okay.
No, the last draft pick is up.
Oh my gosh, finally. It only took like 4 hours.
It's like they time it this way or something.
Holy moly. Yeah, they have to get this done in time for the shows that start at 9 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
This is ridiculous how long this is taking. Oh my goodness.
Well, they got to get the advertisements and all the product placements.
Oh, somebody was asking about meetups. We always put dates and times and places for meetups on the Hockey Guy Facebook page. It's a lot easier on there to keep track of that.
Nolan Allen, defenseman, goes to Chicago.
That Montreal pick was a big
Tampa.
yikes for me. I'm seeing that a lot of people just what?
They could have had Ratu. Why don't you take Ratu there? Like now Ratu drops down to the 2nd round, which I saw people saying that could happen. And here we go.
It is still light here. We have daylight till about 10:30 in the summer. So
we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I'll be doing a review of the draft, and we'll see. We'll see how this works out tomorrow with round 2. But that's it for round 1. Nolan Allen is the last pick taken by the Chicago Blackhawks, and Vancouver's the only logo I didn't end up using tonight because Arizona got their pick, so that's fine. Anyways, there you go. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. Well, in the morning if you're able to, and if you're not, well, it'll post to the channel anyways. You'll be able to see our reactions and all that.
Congratulations to the 2025-2026 Arizona Coyotes for acquiring Seth Jones.
Yeah, that contract's going to age interestingly. All right, thanks guys for coming out, and we'll do this again tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be 4 hours long.
No, it never takes that long. They actually usually leave before it's done.
That's true. It goes to other stuff, and then it's just scrolling on the side. Yep. That's right. That's right. Oh, yeah. Why did I wait for the Montreal pick? Yeah. That would be really frustrating. You're like, seriously, I had to wait 4 hours? And
I get that.
Come on.
All right, guys.
That would be really frustrating.
Thanks for coming out. We'll do this again tomorrow.